From the hot air balloon capital of the world, this is live coverage of the 52nd edition of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. It's Balloon Fiesta Live. And now, direct from the rooftop studio at Balloon Fiesta Park in Albuquerque, New Mexico, here are your hosts, Art Lloyd Jr. and Ted Maes.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and almost Monday, I guess.
Yes, it's almost tomorrow in Australia.
There you go. And welcome to the 52nd Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. It's day 2, it's the morning session, and it's going to be a beautiful day here. Good morning and good afternoon, wherever you might be. I'm Art Lloyd Jr., along with Ted Maes this morning. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. We had a great day yesterday.
We did.
Despite a little bit of wind, not challenges, but just put things on hold just a little bit both mornings, but that's not apparently the case today.
No, Mother Nature was trying to play with us yesterday, but I think today we're going to see a much different view when we start off when that sun rises over the Sandias.
Yeah, well, at 7 o'clock, we're an hour away from sunrise and an hour away from our Maes Ascension. We may be able to see our Krispy Kreme glow this morning, possibly even our dawn patrol. Pilot's briefing just getting underway out there on the pilot briefing tower, and so we'll check in with them when we get to the weather. In fact, there is the dawn patrol.
There is a dawn patrol, yes. Scott Vesley right there in the front balloon.
And Iron Edge, so his company has, his sponsor company has a new name. Used to be Lighthouse Business, now they're Iron Edge. So you see Scott Vesley. The yellow one with the other colors is Greg Lindsay and Flying Oasis. It looks like, I'm not sure if that's Kurt or Tim with the stars.
I believe that's Tim.
So, and we'll get a different view and we'll get them up. Dawn Patrol show this morning, actually, sponsored by Route 66 Casino and RV Resort.
So that's a great shot right there. That's going to show our people there on the field what we're going to see shortly. Very encouraging over the yesterday.
And they're laid out in the normal pattern.
Yes.
Yeah. Typically what happens here at Balloon Fiesta Park is we get what we call a drainage wind. It kind of comes from the north to the south. It's just kind of like moving down slope is what's happening here. And so we lay out so that we fill, so that the wind helps inflate the balloons. Yesterday, we didn't have that. We had a wind out of the south, so all the balloons laid out the other way and actually flew out towards Rio Rancho, the northwest area. So everything's looking like we usually have here in October at the Balloon Fiesta.
Indeed.
So that loud blast of the radio that you may have heard through there.
I believe it was the Dawn Patrol.
That's the Dawn Patrol.
Yes.
Yep. They're checking in on each other, and we heard that one of the balloons was cold packed and ready, meaning it's full of cold air.
And they're ready to go hot, so you'll start to see some beautiful colors in this early twilight morning in Albuquerque.
Once they're all cold packed, then they'll give the command and they'll all burn and light up and stand up together. So we'll just kind of be watching for that as we continue to monitor pilot's briefing.
For those of you who've never been to Fiesta Field, that shot right there that you're looking at, the pilot's briefing tower is right to the right. So that's where all the pilots right now.
Those lights, yep.
Yeah, they're there and they're listening and getting instruction and being told how great of a job they did yesterday overcoming that little curveball Mother Nature threw at us. But it's always a good time in the morning out there. You get, again, see your friends that you haven't seen for 365 days. And today, different than yesterday, not as much wind. But, look, if you look as here on set, it's still not cold. I'm wearing just a polo. No jacket. You're in a jacket.
I put a little heavier jacket on this morning. It's a little cool in our trailer last night, and so I kind of cooled off overnight, and I haven't warmed up yet this morning. So, yeah. That shot you were talking about, looking across the field from the east to the west, as you said, had the pilot tower in it, and you got to see right down the line of the balloons. We have that camera. We have the one that's out on the north end. The one you're looking at now is from the south end, so that's kind of what our view is, although the camera does a much better job of picking up the balloons than we can see. When I look out there, I can't see the balloons at all, and even barely when I shade the bright lights on the stage here, it's hard to see the balloons. But
yeah, I believe they're about halfway down the field. They're almost in the middle of the field, so.
So we're just checking on things and watching things here. The other thing that's going to happen today. Okay, so we just got the word that they are doing weather at the pilot briefing tower. So let's check in and see what the weather looks like.
A lot of great stuff coming up this morning, including Blue Delta, the United States Air Force Band. It's going to rock, roll, and take their toll, believe me. I'm Bill Royal. I'll be the voice in your head for the morning.
They are coming around and they're checking those, and it needs to be.
So keep yourself warm, and things will get started in just a little bit. Thanks for coming out.
And it does happen.
And thanks for spending Sunday morning. The Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil.
Today at 2 o'clock, we'll start to clear the field. Not to get ahead of things, but if we were to be going south, maybe like today, you want to be aware of the conditions that we need to follow going to Sunport and maybe over to Double Eagle. So yesterday I showed you the map that was facing north-south, and the folks that like to read the map north-south said, hey, that's great information. Then some folks came to me and said, but I always like to turn my screen on my Nuvi so I can see which way I'm going. So today I'm going to present it this way. So if you're flying south and you're on the left-hand side of I-25, then you want to make sure you go above 8,000 feet and stay above 8,000 until you clear the airport property. That's if you're going to not land before you get to Central Avenue. If you are on the right side of I-25 as you're flying south, then you need to get below that 6,000-foot MSL if you cannot land before the Central. And then
so that's Henry Rosenbaum, our Balloonmeister, and he's actually kind of reviewing the procedures for flying over the Albuquerque International Airport, which is basically directly south of us.
Correct, and that typically tells us that there's not going to be the famous Albuquerque box setting up, that they're preparing the pilots to either make a decision of doing a shorter flight and a little quick hop, maybe over Alameda, which is south of us, or over towards Montano. They really encourage you, though, to go more further south because there are lots of landing spaces on the other side of the airport, and the pilots know from the pilot video of exactly what they need to do. So basically, if you're flying south and you are west of I-25, they want you to be below 6,200 feet MSL to stay out of the traffic of the inbound at Albuquerque International. And then if you're flying east of I-25 and south of I-40, you need to climb to over 8,000 feet MSL to clear the airport.
Exactly. Over the top of the airport, underneath the traffic that's coming in as planes are doing that. So that's what they're reviewing out there. I'm hearing a countdown coming from our Dawn Patrol, and there they light it all up as they all get ready to stand their balloons up.
Yeah, then we see them pretty good.
Look at that shot.
Yeah. It's amazing that these guys sit around and practice and talk about this, and they're so strategic in how they put those balloons up. I mean, when I was a pilot, I had a hard enough time by myself. These guys do a great job, doing it 13 or 14 at a time.
Right, because it's not an exact science for how long it takes to get enough cold air in there, or even once you start putting the heat in. So you're watching not only what you're doing, but the person next to you, trying to synchronize that as best you can, so that you all stand up approximately as close to possible as the same time.
And they're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Look at those crowds. I believe everyone's buoyant now. They're all up.
All standing.
You'll see a little bit of a glow show here, and then they'll start launching those guys. And the pilots that are at pilot briefing will kind of use them as pie balls, and that's what we typically use when we go out to fly and kind of gauge the winds that are aloft.
Sometimes called wind dummies.
Yes, these guys are the wind dummies.
they really kind of are. So while a lot of people say, well, yeah, they send Dawn Patrol up to check the winds to see if it's okay to fly. No, we already know what the winds are going to do up there. We've got the forecast. This kind of verifies it. But it's really more of a great show. And, of course, these guys love flying in the dark. They get their marker lights that we'll see hanging below as well. So it's a nice show. It's great fun. It gives us something to do before sunrise. It's a way to get balloons up. And so, other balloons, anytime a balloon is up, another balloon pilot's going to take a look and say, what are they doing? How fast are they going? What direction are they going? How high are they? You're always going to school on somebody else who's out there flying.
And in some cases, it actually gives a pilot a little bit of comfort with their aeronautical decision making, and others, you know, they're very comfortable with what's going on around them anyway.
Yeah, kind of, as you said, verifies your decision. I'm thinking it's going to do this, and then you see it happen when someone else is up there. Yeah, there's an Allbird. The palm tree on the left, Greg Lindsay and his Flying Oasis. Next to that, Matthew Grote with Gestures Unwind. There's the shot with the orange pennants, Iron Edge, Scott Vesley.
There's a great shot.
There's a great shot all the way across. So starting on the right, that's the Floating Oasis. Then there's Matt Grote with Gestures Unwind. There's Tim Taylor in his D3. Is that what he's calling it? Yep. He's got so many of those. And then, let's see. That should be Chuck Schick, I think, is the next one.
I know next to him is Dale Ruth. Dale Dewey Ruth.
Dale, yeah.
Right there, flickering.
Flickering, yeah. And then next to the last full balloon on the left-hand side is Chuck Schick.
That's Chuck.
Yep, with Too Good Looking. And then kind of half on the screen that we see there, that's going to be Brian Carlson in Dreams Fulfilled.
Yeah, I actually owe Brian something, so I got to hunt him down later on today.
Oh.
I got to pay the piper. It looks like it's really shaping up to be a beautiful morning.
I think so.
And all these folks that have made their way out. I came down to the rooftop studio about 4:30 this morning, and there were people that were already hitting the field, and they were staking their claim for where the best spot was on the field. And people always ask, you know, all the years I've been coming, where's the best place to be? And I don't know if there's really a best place. I think the most favorite thing, I had neighbors years ago. They had lived in Albuquerque for 50 years and had never been to Balloon Fiesta.
Whoa.
And being a pilot, you know, we have that access. I loaded them up in the Chase Commander and we dropped them off right in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
They were an elderly couple and they sat there, the Strickland sat in the middle of the field, and they didn't move for 2.5 hours.
Uh-huh.
And they were amazed of what they saw because there was 360 degrees of balloons.
There you go.
It really is, it's your choice when you come out, but I just had some friends from Toronto that were in over the yesterday, and they took the advice and went right in the middle of the field and said that was the good call.
There is an article in the monthly Balloon Fiesta newsletter where they will talk to pilots and other people, and one of the questions they always ask is kind of like staff members, what's the best place, where do you like to be on the field? What's the best place for you to do this? And I always tell people, it's kind of like we have a great view from our rooftop studio, but to really experience it, you got to just get down there in the middle of it.
Absolutely.
We certainly do. So we continue to watch our Dawn Patrol team do some flickers and all burns on the ground. I anticipate them flying.
Well, I heard in my ear a second ago our Balloonmeister Henry Rosenbaum saying it's going to turn out to be a fantastic day. So that's great news for all the pilots out there and all the guests that are here on site and all of you out in on watching on Balloon Fiesta Live.
You know what? Let's take care of a little bit business while we have just a couple of moments here. Let's talk about how you can win here on Balloon Fiesta Live. Once again this year, we are giving away Balloon Fiesta Live license plates. So all you have to do is enter our little contest. We'll throw a QR code up here momentarily. You can scan the QR code, and you'll be able to scan, put your name and your other contact information into the entry form, and we will draw 3 names on every session and give 3 license plates away. So here's the QR code, and there's what the license plate looks like. You know, Balloon Fiesta Live since 2017 commemorates the year 2024. Balloon Fiesta Live is the license plate. There is the QR code. And our winners for today, because I pulled them before I got here this morning.
Okay.
So I've already pulled the winners. So we have from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Andrew Smelter. From Tijeras, New Mexico, Valerie Baker. And from Thornton, Colorado, Karen Harlow. So congratulations to Andrew, Valerie, Karen. We will be in touch with you after Balloon Fiesta to make arrangements to get the Balloon Fiesta license plates to you.
They may or may not be out of bed and already winners on the day.
They could already be. Actually, I saw somebody else from Thornton, Colorado on our YouTube chat this morning. Yep. So our Dawn Patrol team is getting in the air, and we have gotten to weather at the pilot's briefing. So we're going to listen into pilot's briefing while we watch the Dawn Patrol show fly.
What a glorious morning for a flight. I want to thank everybody personally for your participation last night. It was a combination glow candlestick, and it went off beautifully when the winds finally died off enough to do something. So again, thank you so very, very much. I messed it up completely. I failed to get checked out before they brought me up here. All right, this morning, Ambassador of the Day. Remember that all of you can nominate an Ambassador of the Day. It can be a fellow pilot, it could be a crew member, it could be a navigator, it could be me, just for example. All right, but you put your write-ups for Ambassador of the Day. Take them to.
Okay, so. The weather guy keeps walking up to the microphone over there, and we want to pick up the beginning of his conversation. So as soon as we do that, then somebody else decides to step up and say something.
Yeah, they keep cutting in front of Brad.
Yeah, they're just putting that off there. So they're doing a little talk about last night's balloon glow candlestick that we did.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was great fun last night. Some great video last night. So it was all really nice last night. So they're kind of setting that stuff up and doing some other housekeeping. As you said, we already heard they talked about reminding folks about flying over the airport. Now they're talking about ambassadors of the day, who's doing the right things, how do they recognize those, little thanks for last night. And eventually we'll get to weather. But as we look and see the Dawn Patrol, they're just going off slowly and a little bit to the southwest.
And those four said wind dummies will do their best job to kind of show all their friends down below really what the winds are doing, if they're able to. Scott went back behind us, but he's back behind the stage now, so I haven't seen what he's able to do, but we'll keep an eye on him. And you're starting to see the beginning of the Krispy Kreme inflate on the field right now.
Yeah, everything just seems to be not slow, but not fast. Just a nice little pace off. Everything off to the southwest as I kind of look off that way. And we continue to get those off. And, yep, there's the Krispy Kreme glow, folks. So now we do actually have Brad on there. So now let's really get the weather from Pilot's Briefing.
25, relative humidity 25%. Winds, like I mentioned, were calm. Visibility is unrestricted and clear. And the barometric pressure is 30.27 inches of mercury. And over at Double Eagle, the temperature was 48 degrees, so much cooler than we saw yesterday morning. Dew point of a whopping 16. Relative humidity of 27%. Wind was out of the northwest, so 320 at 9 knots, and the barometric pressure is on the rise at 30.29 inches of mercury. Those observations are going to be kind of important because, as you can see with the Dawn Patrol pilots, you're going to be headed that direction today. There is no box across the area, but what we have on the broad scale is this low-pressure system north of the Great Lakes. There is a cold front associated with that has worked its way into the northeast corner of New Mexico. And that front is you can see it's analyzed to actually be working its way back to the south and west. The question is how far west it actually gets. You can see behind the front, we've got some pretty gusty winds out of the north. I'm not convinced that the front has made it to Santa Fe as of this point. they've been pretty strong out of the north the last several hours, about 15 knots or so. And so that's going to help funnel the drainage down into the local Albuquerque region. However, we don't have a significant temperature difference between us and Santa Fe, so that's not going to accelerate that by any means. And we're also not dealing with a significant pressure difference. You can see here they're at 1,016.1 up in Santa Fe. We're down here at 1,016.4. So there's not a significant pressure difference and there's not a significant temperature difference. And given that that's the case, I don't expect that drainage to be overly strong. But that's going to be the only thing that we're going to really have to watch for this morning. Otherwise, if you look at the TAFs, they look very favorable for a flight this morning. The TAF at Albuquerque calls for 360 at 7 knots, visibility greater than 6 miles, and sky conditions clear. After 9 o'clock, switching more out of the northeast at 0505 knots, visibility unrestricted and sky conditions clear. Over at Double Eagle, they have 330 at 6 knots right now, forecast visibility unrestricted and sky clear. And then after 9 o'clock, coming out of the north at 8 knots, visibility unrestricted and sky condition clear. So that's and what we have in the TAF is kind of what I expect. So here's the profiler kind of showing you what's going on aloft. And thanks to Patrick Frias with the city, he made some adjustments to that so it's displaying correctly and everything like that with what we have going on currently. So right now you can see the trend, and I could even go back further in time so you can. I was displaying 1 hour, but here's 3 hours in time, but I'll go back to 1 hour so you can kind of see.
That line of beautiful lights is a very, very good sign.
There we go. So
the Dawn Patrol show gives us a little insight into what the day is going to be like, and this looks like it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
And there's not a ton of steerage there, but with time, as time goes on, I think it's going to take on more of an easterly component. So those that take off early are probably going to head more towards Sunport. Those that take off later are probably going to head more towards Double Eagle off on the West Mesa there. So given that that's the case, I don't think there's going to be a box this morning. There's no way you're going to get back to the north with a southerly wind. But you're going to have some directional steerage. If you stay low, that's probably going to be where more of the easterly trajectory is going to be. So given that that's the case, you can go up, you can move more south. You stay lower, you're going to head more to the west. I don't expect winds to increase appreciably, but like I mentioned, that wind up in Santa Fe funneling things down south, that may lead to a little localized drainage right in the Rio Grande Valley. So you might find once you get over towards the river valley and you're crossing the river valley, there may be a little bit of an acceleration of wind, but that's about the only localized effect I think we're going to see this morning. Otherwise, I think things are going to be fairly good, and winds will remain, what we're expecting right now is winds will remain light in the near surface layer as long as that drainage doesn't really kick in. So it looks like a great morning, and then the outlook here, the next few days looks great as well with high pressure dominating across the west. I did want to mention Double Eagle's density altitude earlier this morning was 6,900. It is currently at 6,100. So again, still dealing with those warm temperatures, abnormally warm temperatures. Be aware of that and how that's going to affect your balloon system. Okay, with that, I have Marshall and Cassidy helping out with the pieball release here this morning with the memorial ribbon attached. Do we have any launch directors in the area to give them permission to launch?
So we heard the weather from Brad Tiemeyer, and they're launching off the pieball balloon. We've actually seen it with the Dawn Patrol show, so it's going to be a fabulous morning for flying.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, didn't anticipate a box forming, but hey, we're going to get some balloons in the air, a lot more than yesterday, and it'll be a fabulous day. The sun is just starting to come back from behind the majestic Sandia Mountains, and you're seeing the Krispy Kreme team getting ready to go there.
So there's some discussion on the Facebook chat here about what's the deal with Krispy Kreme here. Well, there's a lot of little pieces to this here is what's going on. And remember that there were 13 balloons at the first Balloon Fiesta in 1972. 13 is a baker's dozen. Krispy Kreme, the famous donut maker, sponsors this morning glow. So you tie all that together, and we set up about 13 balloons out there, and we call it the Krispy Kreme Glow.
Yes, and actually I was one of the original Krispy Kreme pilots
Oh,
when
were
they
you?
started. Yes. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun doing that. A lot of my friends were kind of, well, don't you like flying amongst all those friends? And I'm like, yeah, I do, but you get some great shots because you're off the field first, right after dawn patrol, and while all your friends are launching, you're driving back in the field, and so you're already at your tailgate before your friends even leave the field.
Yeah, it was a few years ago I kind of figured out, okay, so you get dawn patrol and they're up and out, but sometimes they have to wait. We're waiting for the sunrise. The Krispy Kreme guys get stood up, and they get a lot of photos, a lot of coverage about being, and then you're right, they're the first ones off the field. And so they're up and out, not quite as much traffic out there in the sky, all that other stuff. So, yeah.
Well, and you have to really manage your fuel because, you're sitting there sometimes for about 30 to 45 minutes before.
Yep.
So some of these guys will have an external tank that they have to actually strap in and then switch out. Unfortunately, I used to fly Fireflies, and there were really no external tanks. So you had to really manage your fuel and watch what you were doing, or you had a really short flight out of Fiesta Field.
Right.
And it sounds to me in our ears that the flag is green and the crowd is cheering. So we will have balloons today.
Well, we already do. We already have
a lot of balloons today.
Yeah, there they are.
Yes.
Doing an all burn in the sky.
And there are those lights you were speaking of.
The marker lights.
The marker lights. Those that you must fly with those because now you are an aircraft flying and you have to be identified because these balloons do not have transponders in them. So although
and like that shot,
yep.
You can't see. I mean, you'd think with this big flame, well, yeah, when you're burning, you're very visible. But when you're not burning, which is most of the time, that's what you look like in the sky. So without those marker lights,
And remember, you're only going 7 to 9 knots where you could have a plane going several hundred miles an hour. Yes.
Exactly. So, yep. Okay, we're getting today we also talked about, there's a couple things going on today with our Maes Ascension. It's kind of our Memorial Day as well, so we pilots and everyone remembers all of those folks that we have lost over the last year, and the pilots have kind of white banner streamer type of things that they would write the names of those folks on there as well. But on the happier side of things, it's also our remote control day. One of our 4 days where we'll have our remote controls or our
Fiestas de los Globitos.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I know.
That one always just trips up my tongue there a little bit. So.
Right.
But
and there's actually a special bond between who sponsors that and myself actually.
So we happen to have the mayor of the city of Las Vegas, New Mexico. I always have to say that because everyone thinks Las Vegas, Nevada. But the city of Las Vegas, Mayor David Romero is here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ted. Good morning, Art. How are you guys doing this morning? It's
great.
We're great. How are you?
Good. Beautiful morning. After yesterday, and we didn't have the Maes Ascension, so we're hoping. I heard you say that we have the green light, so exciting today.
We've got the green flag and everything. Now, this is the second or third year that the city of Las Vegas has sponsored our Globitos. Why do you guys do that?
This is actually the third year that we've been a sponsor of Balloon Fiesta. After our first year with Globitos, it was just amazing, all the appreciation that we got from all the pilots within, the Globitos, all the pilots that they had. So we decided to, have another run at it, sponsor them. It's an amazing experience to be a part of Balloon Fiesta, to be a sponsor here within, every year that we've been here. We've had some great success in marketing our community. We've had some people go and visit us, and that was our goal. And every year we seem to get more and more visitors because of Balloon Fiesta.
So tell us about the city of Las Vegas. Why would we come visit you? Not that, I know why, but you tell our audience why we should come.
Well, first of all, I know, like, as you mentioned, right, we have to make sure we say Las Vegas, New Mexico. We always get confused, beyond New Mexico.
With that other place.
Yeah, well, we call ourselves the original Las Vegas, founded in 1835. Las Vegas, Nevada was in 1905. So, we call ourselves the original Las Vegas. There's so much that we have. I think we're a hidden gem within New Mexico. We have 900 historic buildings, Montezuma Castle. I don't know if you guys have ever, been in the area, seen it.
Well, actually, I have a personal connection to Las Vegas. That's where my family is from.
Oh,
We're
okay.
actually from Maes, New Mexico, which is out towards Trementina.
Yeah.
And my grandparents had a home right there on 6th Street in Las Vegas, one of those big historic homes you were talking about. So as a child, I'm very familiar with Las Vegas, and I really love that place.
Well, then you understand the beauty that we that we hold there in Las Vegas. Like I said, a lot of history within our community. You know, we were the Wild West before Dodge City. You know, we had the Doc Holidays, the Billy the Kids. So there's just so much that we have that we thought the perfect opportunity to market ourselves this year at Balloon Fiesta. I mean, where else are you going to touch so many people in 8 days? You know what I mean?
So my understanding is you also have a little booth along our main street?
Yeah, as I mentioned, you know, this is our third year. We used to have a 10 by 10. We've expanded to a 20 by 10. So we're, like I said, we have a lot of success. You know, we have some screens on there to, you know, have little discussion videos that, you know, talk about our community. So everybody that's there in, you know, that's walking down Main Street, stop by our tent. We have some official city pins that I'll give you here right before I leave.
Thank you.
You know, so, you know, it's just amazing the way you know, I've been watching your interviews, and it's a family. You know, once you start here, it's a family. You know, there's just so much going on. You build a connection with, you know, everybody that's involved here. So many volunteers.
Yeah. Well, I have a funny true story about family. In the confusion of Las Vegas, I actually had an uncle who was there, and his future wife got off the train at the Castaneda thinking it was Las Vegas, Nevada, and they were married and they lived their entire life in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
We like I said, we get that a lot, right? People passing through, they see Las Vegas, they stop by, and wonder where the casinos are. You know what happens in our Las Vegas? We want everybody to know. We don't have the.
And the translation is the meadows, correct?
Yeah.
Excellent. So we'll be watching for our Globitos later today, and reminding folks to, while you're in New Mexico, stop by the city of Las Vegas, New Mexico, and you'll greet them at the border, right? At the turnoff into Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You will.
We'll be there. You know, a lot of film history there. You know, No Country for Old Men, Longmire, Red Dawn.
My cousin was actually in one of the scenes in the original Red Dawn.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think it was the 40th anniversary this year. So, you know, a lot of I mean, we were Hollywood away from Hollywood.
There you go, one of the early ones.
Right?
Yeah, when they started moving out of there.
The late 1800s. So, you know, we have a lot of history.
Good deal. Well, thank you, sir, for your sponsorship. Say hi to everyone in Las Vegas.
I'll let them know, and thank you guys for all you do. And here's some pins.
Appreciate that.
Right,
and we'll be watching for the Globitos later this morning. We'll get them up at the end of the just said it right there. We'll get them up towards the end of our Maes Ascension this morning. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day. All right. Well, a little bit of family history there.
There you go.
Right here.
There you go. And looks like we have our Baker's Dozen standing up.
Yes, we do. Right there in the middle of the screen is Anthony Tony Polito, who used to reside in Atlanta, but now he's in Scottsdale, and he is flying the Central New Mexico Down Syndrome balloon.
And the Just Fun Cat is that little white one with the little black lines on it.
I think it's J.J. Mancini there that just glowed.
That one, yep. Right there. Yeah, and his Mr. Sprinkles balloon.
Yes. All right, I think Diane has a Diane has a very important person, part of Balloon Fiesta history down there with her. So Diane, who do you have with you?
Okay, here we go. Very important. A very important person. I have with me Tom McConnell. He's been a board member since 1979, a very good year, and a past president of the board, and he knows it's been here at Fiesta 6 different sites. And my favorite story is telling me that your first flight was free. Tell me that, Tom.
Well, we often say when people ask us about this ballooning business, how much does that cost? And so, well, the first flight is free. The second one costs just $25,000.
Because you buy a balloon.
Because you fall in love with it and you buy a balloon.
He's here with his lovely granddaughter, Chrissy. Thank you so much. One of 3 granddaughters, and they always sport this wonderful Zia sweater because he used to fly the Zia balloon. but also now his son is flying the balloon. But I was going to ask, the 6 sites we had here at Balloon Fiesta in Albuquerque, tell me over 44 years, how have things changed? And this is actually, Tom, a serious question.
Things have changed because we have learned all the things that work, and we have learned all the things we hope that do not work. And so the Balloon Fiesta has gotten larger, more complicated. The traffic patterns have gotten more complicated. But the balloonists are enthusiastic. They come from all over the world. They love this place. They love flying in the fall, and they love the Albuquerque people. And for the most part, the Albuquerque people love these balloonists.
And the change has been from a dusty kind of field that we're flying out of, to this gorgeous, 350-some acre grass-filled playground for all of us, not just for balloonists and crew, but for all of, really, the world.
That's right. The dust and the various sites that we've been on, they were just put together out of fields, basically, until we came to this field here and the one just preceding it, which is now across the street back here. It's now one of the places where they park the RVs, etc. But so the 350 acres, it's actually more than that because of the various tents that people set up, and a lot of people don't even come on the field. They just take their car and park it out there and watch the balloons fly.
So as a board member, you had a lot to contribute to the growth of this fiesta and the changes for the better.
Well, that's a great question. I hope so. I did do one thing that is still going on. I created the Heritage Committee because we were beginning to lose some of the people from the very beginning, and we didn't want to do that. And so now we record and write in the program, for example, things that happened 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. We all remember Sid Cutter. We remember the early people that made this happen, of which there are many, and many of them are no longer with us. So,
can you give us some of the other names to help us remember right now on our live broadcast throughout the world?
Harry Kinney. Harry Kinney was mayor at the beginning of this business. Harry Kinney, it is said, and Sid Cutter used to say this, he actually saved Balloon Fiesta. He created a committee, and that's when we went to a nonprofit organization in 1975, and it's been, with kicks and starts, it's been growing ever since. In the year 2000, for example, Sid had another crazy idea. Let's have 1,000 balloons. In 2000, we'll use that as our slogan. And we all thought he was crazy, but Sid was crazy in a really excellent kind of way. And so we did.
1,000 balloons.
We had 1,003 balloons registered that year when we turned the year 2000. And it was absolute chaos.
Wait, what? Chaos?
Yes, chaos. And so then the very next year we said, we're not doing that anymore. We got to cut back on. So now we've cut back a little bit and a little bit every year, and now we're down to somewhere between 550 and 600 balloons.
So a bit more manageable?
A bit more manageable. 2 waves we fly when possible. They go static sometimes if the wind is too high. We've had rainstorms, and one year when Charlie Hines, an early name, Charlie Hines was the only person on the field because it was snowing, and he was president that year, and he was giving an interview, and we were all at home watching on TV. And
I think that was about 1988, 89, right around there. I was here. I was here. My mom was here. She said it's snowing.
Yes, and so we've now, of course, it's not quite so cold.
Now we had 87 degrees. Thank you on behalf of the ballooning world. Thank you so much for your contributions, Thompson. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. And Chrissy, thank you for being here too, for being a great granddaughter. Back to you on the studio.
Thanks, Diane. Thanks, Tom. Always good to see Tom around the Balloon Fiesta. And she's right, he's right. A wealth of information in Tom. He always has articles in the program. Started the Heritage Committee, and yeah, they just do some great work in trying to preserve the history, the 52 years. And unfortunately, a lot of that history has gotten lost over the years before the committee came together. But we're working hard to bring all that back together.
Well, a little side story, Dr. Tom McConnell gave me my first balloon pin.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I chased him down
and now
on
you
my
have
bicycle.
3.
Yeah, I have 3.
Yeah. So, yep, we have our Krispy Kreme balloons up. We're about 20 minutes away from sunrise and our Maes Ascension, our balloon of the day, and the flight of colors, the national anthem, all of that good stuff gets started at 7. Then we'll be underway with our full Maes Ascension. Continues to look just fabulous here at Balloon Fiesta Park for a great day of flying. Here you see a great shot of someone putting heat into the balloon, standing their balloon up. Either they're late to Krispy Kreme or they're early on. I'm going to guess, though, that that's the balloon of the day.
I think it probably is. Yeah, it looks to be like it actually is the Dos Equis balloon over there, if I'm not mistaken.
And there it is standing up. Yeah, we can see it out there. And I think that's, let me just double check, because they put all these different people flying it. Yeah, it is Damian Kirsten.
That is Damian right there.
Yeah. Yeah, now, and then we see the shot of him. So.
Hey, we have our watch party again. They're all engaged up there in Michigan. Chad Segal and the folks at River Tree Church are watching again. So have another breakfast burrito for us up there in Michigan.
Yeah, they sent me some great pictures yesterday afternoon of all of them watching, and the kids were coloring balloon pictures while they were watching. Great. They actually have New Mexico Pinion coffee there, and they showed me some 505 Hatch chili that they have out there. So they have definitely brought New Mexico to Michigan, and we appreciate them watching.
Well, maybe we should put a challenge out there. Maybe they're the trendsetters. Maybe we can get watch party, Balloon Fiesta Live watch parties throughout the country. So if you guys are doing that out there, please let us know. And we'd love pictures and tag us on either Facebook and or YouTube.
Absolutely, yeah. Do let us know. Love to encourage the watch parties. The only problem with the watch party is you get one view for the 30 or 40 people that you have there, but that's okay. We'd rather have you watch than get all those views, which, by the way, we had like 13,000 people watch yesterday morning's show just on YouTube.
That's
we
incredible.
had nearly 75 people or so listening on our audio feed. Last night I checked, our audio feed has been checked into by 12 different countries. And we were pushing 200,000 impressions on Facebook yesterday morning. So Balloon Fiesta Live over the years has as many people watching it as show up on the field, which is pretty incredible.
It is incredible.
And then what's even better, at the end of 9 days, the field goes back to a city park, the balloons are gone, and you can't come to Balloon Fiesta Park and see balloons.
But
you can go online and continue to watch Balloon Fiesta Live.
Year-round.
And I hear regularly from folks who say, oh, yeah, we put Balloon Fiesta Live on. My kids love watching it, or I love watching it. And I was talking to a pilot after like the first or second year, and he says, I just have it on while I'm working. So, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, there's about 40 hours of Balloon Fiesta Live for every year. So that means you could go 2 months of watching it while you're working. There's your 40-hour work week, 2 months worth. Hey, then you can start over again.
I don't know how many supervisors out there would encourage you to be watching Balloon Fiesta Live when you're working, but,
depending on what your job is.
That is true.
You could be, yeah. There's a great shot of Dos Equis. This is another, our cameras do such a great job. It is not that light out here yet.
No. In fact, from our view, it's still dark on that side, but those cameras are incredible.
Yeah. That shot right from our Main Street stage camera, looking right down on the Dos Equis balloon. Favorite balloon and kind of brainchild of Scott Appleman, who we mentioned yesterday, had started Rainbow Riders out of his garage a number of years ago, grew it into the largest hot air balloon ride company in the world, I think, at least if not in the U.S.
There's an awesome shot.
Yeah, and as in addition to growing the Rainbow Riders company, he also was on the board of directors not only for Balloon Fiesta, but also for the Balloon Federation of America. Very involved in the sport of ballooning, the relations with different organizations and companies, with the Federal Aviation Administration. Just a pillar in the sport of ballooning. Unfortunately, passed away unexpectedly in August, leaving kind of a big hole in the ballooning community. And on this Sunday, kind of day of remembrance here at Balloon Fiesta, many of our pilots will be adding Scott's name to their banner that they'll be flying off their balloons as well. One of the smart things about Scott, though, is that as his company continued to grow and get bigger, he built a management and a leadership team within his company. So there were people who were in charge of the balloon rallies that he put on. There were people in charge of the sponsorship rides that they did, of the ride business. So he has this great leadership team. So the entire organization will definitely live on and move forward with Scott's vision of how all that should be coming together.
Absolutely. He will definitely be missed, but he left a footprint and a legacy in the hot air ballooning community that will continue to live on. So, we think about him, but we also think about what he put together for us and what we can look forward to in the future.
And we thank him for it.
Absolutely.
So this is our Krispy Kreme glow. Again, our Baker's Dozen. Kind of a morning glow, kind of fills the little gap between the Dawn Patrol flight and our Maes Ascension. So we've mentioned Just Fun Cat there, and JJ Sprinkles in the middle with JJ Mancini with Mr. Sprinkles, and then that was Rod Baca with the Farmer's Balloon. There's Eric Greenwood with his Enchanted,
and that's JD Dyer from Great Britain.
And as we kind of just look down the line, we see a lot of our other friends out there doing the Krispy Kreme glow. I like when Eric rebuilt that balloon, he actually started putting pinpoints on the silhouette of New Mexico.
Because the first one, I believe he had Las Cruces, was where he was originally
from. I don't
from,
think there was any on the map on the first one, but now this one's got him in different places.
Right.
So moving over to the right, we talked with Keith Catch yesterday. Diane did down on the field. That's the kind of stair-step multicolor one. And then off to the far right, Sean Spiker, who's carrying the Krispy Kreme banner for us. The Zia there with the skull in the center.
The name of the balloon is Gut Wrenched.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have a married couple, believe it or not.
Yep.
You have Lori Van Sant and Kurt Van Sant in Enchanted Diamonds, and I can't remember the name of her balloon.
Black Magic Woman.
Black Magic Woman, yes.
Yep. And then Jody Browning is the one glowing right there, the mostly yellow one on top.
And one of the new additions to Krispy Kreme is Mark Meyer. Mark Meyer, he's a pretty impressive aeronaut. He is a FAA licensed transport pilot, and he's been flying. He graduated from the Army Flight School in 1989 as a warrant officer helicopter pilot, and he has a commercial license. I believe he has over 9,000 hours in an aircraft and something like 1,000 in a balloon.
You know, it's amazing to me. I run a little service for balloon pilots where it's kind of a clearinghouse for their documents. So I get to see their certificates come through because I then share them out to balloon rallies, et cetera. It is amazing to me how many hot air balloon pilots are also ATPs or airline transport pilots. It's really amazing that one day you're flying a 747 and the next day you're out here flying a lighter than air aircraft.
And it's funny because some of those ATP pilots, you get them in the balloon the first time and the look on their face is incredible.
Yes.
Because where do we steer this thing?
I flew a fighter pilot one time, and all he could say was, "Where's the stick? Where's the stick?"
We got a rope.
Yeah, I got this rope and I got this burner. I go up, I go down, and
we'll get you there.
I depend on the winds to get me somewhere. So I have another friend that's a helicopter pilot, and I'll send him tracks of my flights, and I'll show him, I got over here and I landed on the road. And, of course, he does not understand that. He certainly knows how to fly his helicopter and navigate and get there, but he just haven't been able to quite explain to him yet. Of course, he's in California and I'm here, how we can maneuver balloons. And while we we can't just say, I'm going to go there. There has to be planning involved with the weather and the winds, et cetera. There was a close-up shot of Sean.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Tony Polito with the Rio Grande Down syndrome balloon before. And Luke Sesnick has the POW MIA balloon.
You were talking about planning when you're flying. When I was taught to fly, you always want to be thinking ahead. It's not flying a balloon is not like driving a car. You really have to have contingencies and be thinking what's going to happen, 10, 20, 30 seconds ahead of me. And then obviously watching the balloons around you is very helpful. It's more difficult to fly alone when you're out there on the West Mesa because you're just seeing the wind doing what it's localized there. But, when you can see your best friends flying around, it really helps out. I remember one year I was flying over in between Edith and 4th Street and the river, and it's a very congested area. And I watched a pilot, he's not here this year, but Stuart Inlow, maneuver down into the little small park on 2nd Street. And because of what he did, I was able to replicate that and stick us right down into that park. And one of my passengers, who was really not keen of heights, I told her, don't worry, we're going to go on this flight. We're not going to go real high. And poor Beth Trenner was just trembling up there in the sky. But we got her down, her and her mom, and we had one of the best flights ever. My son actually texted me last night from back home, and he said, hey, Dad, you should tell him what was one of your most incredible flights out of Fiesta Field. And I'll be honest with you, when you fly with all these balloons, they're all incredible.
Yes. And you're right. It's kind of nice to say, yeah, okay, I think I can get if they can get there, now I know how to get there. Yep. It's always great fun. Well, and we've talked already this week about how much of a community and a family all of ballooning is. And so it's always good to get together afterwards, too. While we were up in the sky, and then you do some hanger flying while you're out there tailgating. Yeah, well, did you see this? Did you see that? How did this happen? Or how did you get there? I couldn't find the direction to get there.
Well, that's funny a lot of times because, when it's light and variable out there, the wind could be there 1 second, then gone the next. And it's not around anymore. So you have to be very reactive as to what you're doing. And that's the thinking, forethought and thinking ahead of time. The other thing is a pilot, when you take off, and they train you this, once you get into the air, you want to find 3 landing spots immediately that you're in the air.
Part of that planning.
Yes, that pre-planning and decision making. So you want to be able to find 3 safe landing spots. So that's something these pilots will do, especially when you're flying with, again, 500 of your best friends out there.
Absolutely. We were talking about the winds changing, things like that. We were talking after the Candlestick Glow last night with Brad Tiemeyer, our chief meteorologist here at Balloon Fiesta, talking with him, and the phrase he likes to use is, the conditions change just so darn fast here in Albuquerque.
That's right.
And they absolutely can. And then there's other days when it just kind of sets up, and that's the way it is. And that's what you learn to fly.
There's Tony Polito again in the Rio Grande Down syndrome balloon. He had a story he told me about flying with Sid Cutter, who signed him off on his private ticket back in the day. And I guess he flew so well that after they landed, Sid encouraged him to get his commercial license, and he had so many hours, and Sid signed him off on that. And before long, he was flying for Sid at World Balloon and flying rides, and had quite the history with the Cutter family here. But a lot of people have, and as Dr. Tom said, Sid was instrumental. Harry Kenny, the mayor.
Oh.
These are all people that why we're here today. And again, this day of remembrance, the first Sunday of Balloon Fiesta every year, we take time to think about those people who really put us where we're at today.
Look how stable our balloons are.
Yeah, amazing, right?
Yeah.
Different from yesterday.
There's just, a lot of rocking and rolling going on yesterday as we had these little different wind gusts and things like that, and then it kept getting later. We started getting into thermals happening here, which is the updrafts of the winds, and seeing a little bit of balloons trying to get a jump on getting cold inflated. A lot of others have stretched the balloon out, and they're just kind of waiting. Again, you don't want to put the heat in too soon because you don't want to waste the fuel sitting on the ground. On a day like today, you're going to want that to have all the fuel you can when you get up in the sky, just because you could be doing a nice long flight. There's looking down the ride balloon row.
Lots of passengers today.
Yeah, in those very big balloons. And so I love this shot. I love when their balloons, the envelopes are all stretched out. Very little, if no air in them at all. You see the one, New Mexico one at the far end's got a little bit of air in it, but they'll all get started here shortly.
We're seeing a little bit of drainage there, but
yeah,
it's going to turn out to be a fabulous day.
And there's here's part of the process. So pilot is making sure that all the fuel stuff, all the equipment is there. You see it's already tied off. There's a strap coming down from the burner frame at the top that kind of goes down and off to the front of the truck. It's required that all balloonists have a tie-off when they inflate here at Balloon Fiesta Park. It basically just kind of keeps you from going airborne prematurely.
Yes, again, this is a very safe event, and we don't want anything to go awry. And back in the day, though, when people used to fly out of, let's say, Seven Bars Airport, which is now where Cottonwood Mall exists, I remember as a kid watching people who didn't tie off chase their balloons down the runway. Look at all those people.
Hey, a few of my friends are here.
A few.
Just a few. Where are the rest of you? You're all watching on Balloon Fiesta Live. And we are glad that you are watching on Balloon Fiesta Live. We're happy to bring this to you. And we hope that you will make a trip to Albuquerque and Balloon Fiesta some point in the future, whether it's later this week or next year or the year after. You can put it on your calendar right now. We are always the very first Saturday. We start the first Saturday in October every single year. And we go for 9 days. So just start marking it on your calendars.
Morning, noon, and night.
By the way, the 2025 Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta calendar is already out and for sale. So you can pick up that 2025 calendar at balloonfiestastuff.com. Balloonfiestastuff.com. You can get your calendar. You can get a program from this year if you don't happen to be here. And if you were to throw a few other things in your cart, like maybe some clothing, some T-shirts, one of our cool jackets, or we've got a plethora of hats this year as well. So you can go shopping. Again, it's at balloonfiestastuff.com. And we've got a special deal for our Balloon Fiesta Live viewers. If you scan that QR code that's on the screen right now, that will take you to balloonfiestastuff.com. And if you throw some clothing or sportswear into your cart, when you hit the checkout page, enter the discount code Fiesta24, and we'll take 10% off your clothing purchase. It's a one-time only use, and it's only good through the 15th of October. So go online, scan the QR code, go shopping at balloonfiestastuff.com. Use that code Fiesta24 to save 10% on all of your clothing. Oh, and by the way, while you're there, sign up for What's Up Wednesday. You can do that at the very bottom. That's a weekly email that'll keep you up to date on all of the happenings with our merchandise. You'll be the first to know when the new pins come out, when the calendar gets released, when the program gets released, what new clothing we have coming in and out, some other behind-the-scenes information as well. So great stuff for you on balloonfiestastuff.com.
So you mean I get 10% off? All I got to do is scan that QR code.
Scan the code, takes you to the store, and then put the code in when you get to the checkout cart.
Got it.
It's kind of like, you put the stuff in, all the regular prices are going to show up. And it's going to say you got this. But then you put the code in, it's going to take 10% off all the sportswear stuff.
Awesome.
That's how that works.
Well, I'm monitoring over here on Facebook, and you better watch your hat because someone says that they love the hat and they want to know how they can get it off your head.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Okay.
The last time somebody wanted clothing I was wearing, it was on a PBS channel here, and I was wearing kind of a Hawaiian shirt. And somebody said they'd give me $20 for the shirt, and I said, make it 40 and you've got it. And the next day, my mother calls me from Arizona. Remember, this is in Albuquerque. She says, what are you doing selling your clothes on the air? It turned out her neighbors were in Albuquerque on their way home, turned on the TV, happened to see me. When they got home the next day, they said, we saw your son on the air, and he's selling his clothes. So, yeah. So.
Well, it looks like we have the first wave of the Maes Ascension. First wave of wave one getting ready here, and we're going to get ready to get to our national anthem here in a second. This is a great sight. Awesome part of the morning.
Yeah, we're 2 minutes away. So at this point, I think it's time to actually go ahead and toss it down that way.
Yes, so why don't we go down to our PA announcer, Mr. Bill Royal, with our national anthem.
22nd Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta powered by ExxonMobil. How you doing this morning? We have a lot of amazing things coming up today after Maes Ascension, which is an amazing thing in and of itself that does not happen on this scale anywhere else in the world. We also have the Fiesta of Wheels car show at the north side of the lot at 11 a.m. At the south side of the lot, we're going to have pin trading for people who are pin collectors. And now as the Dos Equis balloon prepares to raise the colors, please welcome, in just a few seconds from now, all righty. Thanks to the Krispy Kreme morning glow that started the morning after dawn patrol. But right now we are prepared to go in the air as the Dos Equis balloon prepares to rise into the sky. Please welcome to sing our national anthem from your United States Air Force Academy Band, Technical Sergeant Matt Booker.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And we are officially underway for day 2, morning number 1 of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. It's number 52, powered by ExxonMobil. Art Lloyd Jr. and Ted Maes here on Balloon Fiesta Live as Damian Kirsten takes the Dos Equis balloon and the colors airborne to get us started.
You saw that shot of Damian taking off, nice and smooth, and again on Remembrance Day, you saw those white banners tied to the uprights of that balloon. So,
what a great shot!
So the next order of business is the launch directors, or the Zebras, will be moving along the Krispy Kreme row and launching the Krispy Kreme folks next, as the balloons in front of us here start in. The first wave in front of us here off of the rooftop studio.
And our ride balloons that we saw all laid out earlier will be having their fans on. They'll be inflating. We'll actually kind of do this in 2 sections, starting with this group that we're seeing here, the ExxonMobil balloon, the Beautiful World. That's code red, the one with the red, white, and black and yellow. The Intel balloon is in the mix, as is Remax.
You have Buzzard's Roost sitting up, Earl Buzzard right there between Intel.
All of these along this row, they're going to be up right after Krispy Kreme, and we'll be starting in the middle. I see lots of air going into the Rainbow Riders balloons at midfield, so it's kind of like a double Maes Ascension, if you will. We work through the field, and we will be back on our normal 2-wave schedule. So we'll get about half the balloons off the first time, and then we'll go through and get the second half off.
And no curveballs today coming from the south to the north rather than the north to the south.
A more typical generic pattern. You know, yesterday I started talking about the fact that the first one was in April in 1972. Then we moved to February for 1973 in the first World Championships. And then in 74, that was also in February, but it snowed on them those 2 years.
I remember that.
So they said, you know, maybe we ought to look for a different time of the year to do this. So in 75, they said, let's move to October. And so they did, and ended up having a rally in February in 75 anyway, that continues to this day as the local balloon club's Friends and Lovers rally. So that's how we ended up in October. Typically a great time for flying, and we are going to witness that today. Balloons are already in the sky. Directly over our head is the Dos Equis balloon, but we're seeing all of those ride balloons we mentioned a few moments ago with Rainbow Riders, and you see the 96 balloon there. Yep, there's a wave.
And a much
different. That's from, is that Earl?
Nope, Earl's right over here.
Oh, Earl's over there.
Yes.
Who was that waving at us?
I was trying to see his banner number. Yeah. He was using his turning vent so we could see him, but then he stopped.
And then he stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Tom Steinbeck from Sunset Glow from Crestwood, Kentucky, that we saw waving at us a few moments ago.
We can see they're letting the Krispy Kremes go.
There we
There's
go.
Eric Greenwood and Keith to catch. He's gonna catch a breeze here in a second.
He is. Let's quickly check in with Diane, who's managed to snag a pilot for us this morning. Diane?
I've got Mark Meyer from North Carolina, and Sherry Pollock, and she is from East Tennessee. And we're here to talk about how great this fiesta is. But in addition to having fun and enjoyment and laughs, there's a serious part of fiesta because we have memorials. And today we have actually two different memorials. And if you can tell me, one is for the pilots and one is for the hurricane victims on the eastern part of the United States. So, Mark, tell me what is happening with all these memorials today.
Well, every year at Fiesta, they do a memorial flight, and that's today. So it's a pilot or a crew member that's had a lasting impact on you or people in your crew. So for us today, for me, it was Dan Kirk and Chip Parks, and then also Dick Fortney. It passed away in the storm last week due to complications. Yeah. And they're very close friends of ours, and especially Sherry.
Sherry, I know you're very emotional. You're making me emotional. And as I said, this is a fun place to be, but also it's an important place because so many people touched our lives, and Americans from all over our country and people from all over the world come to Fiesta. But we're here to remember people as well. Please tell us what's touched your heart.
Well, it's just devastating for whole East Tennessee and Western North Carolina. You never think a hurricane's going to hit up there in that part. So we're missing lots of people. Our local first responders have just been phenomenal, but we're still missing people. We still can't find people. So just keep us in your thoughts and prayers, and we greatly appreciate it.
And you have a close friend who is still missing?
No, I don't have. All my people directly have been accounted for, but second and third have not been accounted for through friends and through one of the complications. A good friend whose his son is a pilot, and he's been crewing for his son for 30 years, and from complications he passed away this week. And it's really hard, but having all this family around you really helps.
Sherry, thank you for sharing with us, and also Mark, tell me about what you have on your this banner.
Banner's over here. A good friend of ours, Clark Harbold, felt a little bit sad because he had come all the way from all that devastation. So he made up this symbol, and it's to draw awareness to those in North Carolina and Tennessee from this hurricane. So prayers or whatever you can give, and if you want to donate, just go to your favorite charity that's helping out there and send them because they need a lot of relief effort.
And these were people who used to come to Fiesta and love Fiesta. Yes. So we are here loving them back and appreciating them. Thank you, everybody. Have a safe flight. Mark?
Thank you very much. We've enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to the rest of the week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Diane. Thanks, Mark. Always good to hear from what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, we knew that was going to happen. That he's in that line there. That they're waiting for him to get up in the air.
Yeah, he's the last Krispy Kreme to
go.
to
get there, and we're already getting the front row off of here. We've already seen Intel get out of here, and Xfinity is getting airborne. Oh, look there, she's getting in the balloon with Mark. So get that passenger in so that we can get the flights underway. Kind of moved a little slow yesterday due to the different winds, but their launch directors are ready to get them out of here. Jacob Little taking the Xfinity balloon out as we continue to watch Mark Meyer put air into his Firefly, or heat into his Firefly balloon.
Actually, Sherry, who Diane interviewed, is actually a good friend of mine over the years. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, I never caught her last name. I was always introduced to her as Johnson City, Tennessee, Sherry.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't know her last name.
Sherry Johnson City.
Yes.
Yep. And the launch director, the zebra there. Oh, so yeah, there's the little bounce. Are we light yet?
Are we buoyant enough to get up there? Yes.
Yeah. So you get to that point so that you, and then the crew just holds you on the ground.
I'm a little jealous for her today. You know, it's going to be
Yeah,
a great flight.
Oh, she's going to get a great flight.
Yeah.
Last minute instructions. I'm going to walk you this way. I'm going to give you a whistle. I'm going to give you a thumbs up.
Eyes on the zebra.
Yep.
And there they go.
So there's that walk me this way. And at some point, yep, see there's the walk this way. I hear the whistle.
There she is.
And the thumbs up, and away he goes. Away they go, I guess. There's that great shot of that North Carolina strong banner on the side of the basket he was talking about.
I believe we have 5 or 6 pilots from North Carolina, so I believe they're all flying that banner.
We talked about that yesterday, so that's just part of that community that we just keep talking about. Here's a number of our ride balloons, the Fidelity Investments, which is operated by Rainbow Riders. And some of those are also carrying banners as well. So I see, can't tell what that banner is on the next one over. In the middle, the one that's kind of beige-ish is the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center balloon.
That's the one with all the new enchantment on it.
Yeah. I see the Visit Albuquerque balloon just barely make it out. If you kind of, there's 2 standing up with the nice yellow kind of eye, and then there's just a little peak of red there. I believe that was the Visit Albuquerque balloon.
And there's a great view looking back to the south, and all the folks flying over us right now.
And you can kind of see the difference in size between that Sundance balloon and then the red one with the design on it. That's Cottywample. We talked about that yesterday. That's the one that has the wheelchair accessible basket on it. Mike Heffern flies that. Right here off the south end, if we can pick up that shot, ExxonMobil.
Pilot
McLean taking the ExxonMobil balloon out. ExxonMobil, the presenting sponsor for Balloon Fiesta. Next year, they'll be the title sponsor, and of course, almost since the beginning, ExxonMobil or one of their subsidiaries has sponsored or powered
There's
Balloon
a great
Fiesta
shot.
Live. There he is.
Tipping his cowboy hat.
Yeah, and look off to the right side of the balloon. There's those openings we've talked about, the turning vents that makes that balloon spin. And yeah, you can always tell his crew because they all wear cowboy hats. And here's Nick Abrams with who's going to be flying our balloon live camera.
He's got our banner right on the side of his basket.
He's got it there. Our camera is there, so he's getting ready. So he's going to be part of the second group to get out of here. So we talked to Nick and found out that Nick designed not only the design of the balloon, but also the design of his crew clothing.
All the sportswear.
Yeah. So there's the New Mexico State balloon in among all of the Rainbow Riders. Kind of just see the red and white. It's kind of like, it's almost like sneaking in there because it's a more regular size balloon at 90,000 cubic feet, surrounded by the 200 and some thousand cubic feet balloons. So, and there's the green side of the Visit Albuquerque balloon.
Yes,
one
red
side
or green.
One side is green, one side is red. The official state question of New Mexico, red or green. Of course, New Mexicans don't answer either one of those. Their answer is Christmas.
Yes.
That means both.
So we're going to have Christmas in October here in a minute in the air
We have Albuquerque. It's underway. It is underway.
I hear that Diane has some equine friends down there on the field. So Diane?
We are horsing around here. Yes, we are. You said no, but we are horsing around here. I am with the New Mexico Mounted Search and Rescue team. I've got Matt, Andy, and Miss Vicky over there. We are here at Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta on the west side of the field. And I think you gentlemen and ma'am are here because you got the best view.
We do. We're up high. We can see everything. It's great.
What are you doing out here, Matt?
We're doing kind of what's called a presence patrol, just making sure everybody's having a good time. We're also, one of our tasks is reuniting lost children with their parents. So having the elevation advantage of being on a horse is great. So we're in communication with all the police and fire, and if we've got lost kids, we start looking for them.
And how do you do that? Mounted?
Correct. And there's actually a lot more lost adults here than kids. It's just adults won't admit it. So.
Do you actually find the adults as well?
We do, or they find us, so it works out. Yeah.
What kind of experiences have you had here at the Fiesta?
Oh, we've, our unit, this is actually our 40th year of doing patrol here, so we've seen it all. The vast majority of it is great outcomes and happy people and good reunited families, things like that. So very little incidences out here. It's always a great time.
And what do you do for the state of New Mexico when you're not here at Fiesta?
Well, we provide search and rescue services. So we are out in the woods.
Literally out in the woods. You're literally out in the woods.
Yeah, our horses do not spend much time in an environment like this. They're mostly in the woods looking for lost people, hikers, hunters, fishermen, etc. And we do some urban searches for dementia patients, walkaways, things like that. So basically we go anywhere in the state that we're called.
Again, you've got the best view and you are nice and high. Before I go, please tell me what are the names of your horses since they are part of the show as well.
This is Austin. He's 23 years old. This is his 12th year doing Fiesta. He is an American paint horse. That is Storm, and Storm is 25. He's a quarter horse. And the one on the end is Handsome, and that is a mule. And Handsome is 10, 12, how old is he? About 15. So.
Matt, thank you so much. Andy, what would you like to add? You said Matt was the one talking, but you've got your chance now.
Matt did a good job. We're just happy helping out.
What do you think of your view right there?
It's pretty spectacular. We'll just sit here all day now. But the view's good from anywhere.
And what do the kids do? They all want to come up and pet your horse?
Oh yeah, these guys get pet about a couple hundred times a day by the time we're done with the day.
Okay, appreciate it. Back to you guys. Thanks for your service. We appreciate your service to our city, our community, and our state.
Thanks, Diane. There's a great shot. Look who's coming up.
Arabelle.
Arabelle, folks. There's been a lot of discussion on my YouTube chat about Arabelle over the years, and I think we decided this is the third envelope of Arabelle. What happens is the fabric wears out, and so the balloon can't fly anymore. So because it's such a special and just exciting shape, they just rebuild it. And so this is the third go-around. While Diane was talking with the horses, we had a great shot of Beautiful World.
Over the top.
And Korg going out right next to each other. And of course, someone said, yeah, if my dog saw Korg that big, it'd just go crazy. So,
you know what else is funny is I was watching you were watching me. We were both up here taking pictures.
Exactly.
And my wife will say, do you really need another picture of a balloon? And the answer is yes. You know, and most people kind of crack up, but how many photos do I have on my phone?
86,748.
So all you guys listening out there, I challenge you to see how many photos you have on your phone and put it up onto our chat.
I was going to say, and that's just his phone.
That's just my phone, yes.
I don't know how many he has elsewhere.
Yeah, that doesn't count all those film photos from all the years.
And just this phone. I bet you have others, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, I just got a note from Roger Clark, who was a longtime pilot out here and a safety official. He said that they are watching us, the Carolina balloonists, while they feed and deliver relief to the hurricane victims in the Carolinas, and asked us to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. So, Roger, we are thinking about you. And again, back to that family aspect. He's out there taking care of people in the time of need, but yet also thinking about his family out here in Albuquerque, where all of his friends are ballooning.
Excellent, excellent. Just had a great shot of, I'm not sure who that is. There it is, now that I find it. The basket was from Mia, and you saw it go up just in front of that, yeah, that's them there. They were just taking off right in front of the Cosmic Crisp apple, and now he's about to have a little kiss with Humpty Dumpty and Rich Longhorn.
Rich Longhorn from Louisville, Kentucky, I believe. Rich was all over the country this year. I saw him.
There it is. We're back
the kiss.
out. Yep, there's the kiss.
Kissing Humpty. Actually, Rich likes to tell me whenever I see him, he looks at me and I said, "Hey, how's Humpty?" And he says, "He was pushed."
Oh, what a great guy Rich is. Yeah. And see, there you go. Here's the shot. There's the roof, the right where our view was. And so that just as they kind of pass right over, that's kind of the view that that we have as these guys just kind of come right at us.
You know what's great here is that these guys are very stable and slow, and the sun has yet to crest the Sandias.
Yes.
And when that happens, that air is going to mix in, that heat's going to mix in, and hopefully you have some more stability and lots of balloons floating gently over Fiesta Field. Someone down here asked which way they were going. They're actually floating to the south, southwest, kind of southeast. It just depends on what layer of wind you get once you clear the top of the field.
The other thing that happens when the sun pops up, there's that Indian Pueblo Cultural Center balloon I talked about. You see how big that balloon is and especially how big the basket is. But the other thing that happens when the sun comes over is all these colors just pop. They're pretty bright and colorful now, but when the sunlight hits them, they just kind of explode in color. Maybe not the best choice of words about round balloons, but that's the color. The color does that.
And this is why this is the most photographed event in the world.
It is. And you know, that was easy to tell when people were actually processing film, when we were Kodak and those kinds of things. And there was a way to actually kind of say, well, we processed this many photos of it and get a good guess. Now with the digital stuff, you know that has to have exploded because everybody's got a camera in their pocket or in their hand all the time.
That number's got to be unfathomable.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, the number of electrons inconvenienced by taking pictures.
So let's see, Diane's still down on the field, and she's been all over the place just in the last day and a half. So Diane, who do you have for us out there now down on Fiesta Field?
I stopped by this family because they said it was a first time for one of their members to come to Fiesta. They're from El Paso, and I thought, yeah, I love it when they're first timers. Well, the reason this one person is their first time because he's only 9 months old, so it's his first visit. What's his name? Yes. Dodger's first visit to Fiesta. So that's why I was surprised. Okay, I understand why it's your first visit, but we have here summer, winter, spring, and fall from El Paso.
Yes, hi. Well, I came when I was 12, and I just wanted my son to experience this. And so far, I think he's just memorized by the lights, and now he's tired. I'm like Mom.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. I'm like Mom.
It's early morning. That's what it was.
Actually, your real name is Summer.
Yes, that is my state legal. That is my name.
But you're not Winter.
No, I'm not. I'm Mona.
Mona.
I'm Eddie.
Hi, Eddie. Great smile there.
Sandra.
Sandra's the aunt who lives here in Albuquerque. Thank you for.
And I'm from El Paso also.
Very good. Yeah. So, what do you want your son to remember about this?
I want him to have the memories I had when I was 12. It's just beautiful seeing he likes the movie Up. So I said, let me give you the real life experience. And he seems to be enjoying himself, I think. I hope he remembers it as a good time, for sure.
Yeah, he's smiling. It's a good time. Oh, now he's going to cry. Thank you very much. And again, his first time at Fiesta because he has to be his first time. He's only 9 months old. Whatever age, it's time to come to Fiesta. What good parents to bring him to Fiesta.
Right. The best. I'm just kidding.
And the cutest, too. Cute family from El Paso. Thank you. Back to the studio.
Bye. Bye. I wanted to do this the whole time.
Thanks, Diane. Always great to hear from folks who are out here visiting. And we'll give that guy a pass that this is only his first year here since he's only 9 months old.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give him a pass. Hey, while Diane was talking, I saw the preventative pest balloon, which is Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Yep.
Brian Victor. That's kind of an interesting story, too. Brian is the owner of Preventive Pest. And he got this special shaped balloon with the big old black widows on the side. He was not a commercially rated balloon pilot, so he couldn't fly the balloon, so someone else flew it. Then he decided, I'm going to get my commercial license, and now he's flying it here
Yes.
at Balloon Fiesta.
And I believe Don Boyer is flying with him.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably, yep.
There's the Black Widow.
There it is,
Interesting
right there on
story. Your wife Bobby told me that she used to bring Black Widow spiders into the house when she was a child with her sister.
She still does. She loves black widows. Yeah, she takes care of all the animals around our house, whether they're little bitty spiders, big spiders, squirrels, anything is out there. So, yeah. So continue to get balloons off the center. There's a shot of Arabelle from the side. We also saw the New Mexico State balloon go airborne. Overhead, we see the UNM balloon up in the sky as well. So both universities are overhead.
Right before that, we saw the Aggie Up balloon from down south in Las Cruces. There it is. Great shot, guys.
Well, the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque is directly overhead. We can't turn a camera straight up to be able to see that one, but that's another one of those Scott Appleman deals. He went to the universities, and we talked about the fact about being able to, expand this and put the brand out there. He's done that. We talked about Dos Equis early on, our balloon of the day earlier. And so he continues to expand that operation out. There's the UNM balloon now that we've managed to get that right in there with the Rainbow Riders as well. Now that he's passed over, we can turn around and get that shot.
We are New Mexico. Right behind him over there is Jeff Ashworth.
The New Mexico Tartan balloon.
Yes. And right next to them on the right-hand side there is Peggy Watson Meineke. This is her 14th year from Santa Paula, California. There's my buddy Peter George from the UK. Another great shot of all the folks out here and how light and variable it is coming off the field. That yellow balloon right in the middle is Miss Yvette Galez. And I've actually flown with Yvette in her balloon several times.
Here's our Balloon Fiesta live camera as Nick is putting cold air into his Balloon Cowboy's dream. You definitely cannot miss this balloon.
No, that's some great crew gear, some great crew swag.
Yeah.
He probably gets all the crew because he gives them the swag.
Well, yeah. Of course, that was also like Mom was there with too.
I think we need to get some swag from Nick.
Yeah. Kind of interesting that he actually walks in the balloon to make sure everything is untangled and ready to go. A lot of pilots won't do that. They'll just kind of work at it. Others are happy going in there. So
I think they feel a little bit more comfortable out here on the grass than
definitely. Yeah, definitely. But I hadn't seen the top of that. There's a design in that top.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to take a closer look when we get to
or
that
find out
point,
from Mom exactly what that is.
Yeah, what that is. So we're still waiting for the sun to come up, but that's not stopping balloons flying from here at Balloon Fiesta Park. Still taking our ride balloons out of the middle. I've seen the second Blaser Swiss loop balloon go off now from the south end of the field. And as our balloons are flying, joining us here on our rooftop studio, our Balloonmeister again this year, Mr. Henry Rosenbaum. Good morning, Henry.
Well,
morning,
good morning,
Henry.
Art, and good morning, Ted. Ted, I had to come check on you.
I know.
You jumped shipped on us, but we're glad you're here. You landed in a good spot. Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not mad at me for pulling him over to this side.
We're never mad when people upgrade. So.
Well, hey, you got a second set of eyes up here, so all you pilots out there, if you're watching on the ground, I have that direct 911 to Henry.
But what a fantastic day this is. This is what Albuquerque's about.
Yes.
We're going to get 2 waves off today. The balloons are heading down south. It's just going to be a great show, not only here, but also down south for the spectators that are going to see us land.
They're all coming your way down in town. Yesterday, yes. Rio Rancho got the show. Today, it's the city of Albuquerque.
So we're going to share the love everywhere. And we've got how many more days left after this?
Well, this is only day 2, so
day
7
2.
more. Yeah, it's only session 3 of 14.
I know. Yeah, it's amazing. But and last night was a fantastic night. And to see the drones with the pyros, that's unbelievable.
Wasn't
that
that
we're
cool?
able to take that technology and put those two together. Fiesta does a lot of amazing things, and they always do or try to add something new each year. And so you can keep coming back. It's not like, well, I'm going to go back and see the same thing.
It's never the same.
Always something different. And we always have different balloons, not only from the States, but from afar, from around the world. And that's what's so special about Fiesta, and we're glad that they're here. I do want to give a shout out to all the folks that are at home, that are not able to travel and be here with us. We miss them, especially my family. And there's many other families out there that are back home supporting needs and stuff at home, but we miss you.
Especially this time of year.
Especially this time of year, especially in the East Coast.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of tragedy that's happened with the storm up through Florida, all the way up through North Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, and so forth. So we've definitely got those peoples and those what they're going through in our thoughts and prayers, and we're keeping them in our minds. But we're putting on a spectacular show here. Thank you for what you're doing to get the vision out to the world. I've gotten some texts from people over in England saying they love it. And,
great.
Keep up the good work. So
we have a great team putting this together here with our Windfire production folks, and yeah, we're getting great comments online. They all participated in our glow last night as well with their emojis. It's just great fun interacting with everybody around the world as we can take and spread this around the world.
You're going to give NBC a run-in for their money coming soon.
Oh,
yes.
You know it's a great day at Fiesta. Look at the grin on that Balloonmeister's face.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
and
yes.
here comes the sun now.
And here comes the
I
sun.
didn't get a chance to come see you yesterday. Yesterday was a challenging day for us, but it worked out. We've got a great team, not only the meteorologists, but the launch directors, the landowners, everybody. It's just a team effort. So.
Yeah, a little curve from Mother Nature yesterday morning to kind of really make sure everybody knew what needed to happen. We got it done, and it worked.
We did. You know, we've got different boxes that we've got to check to make sure before we can launch the balloons, and we just had to get all the boxes checked. It just took a couple of minutes, but we were patient, and we got great information, and once we got to that point, we were able to launch the balloons. I did bring y'all a gift, my annual Balloonmeister pin.
Excellent.
I'm going to leave on the table here for you.
Okay.
I've already given your staff behind the scene their pins, so you're not the first, but I'm going to make sure y'all receive these pins here.
And we have our Balloon Fiesta Live and announcer pins for you as well.
Hopefully
the staff took care of you on those. If not, well, we'll get after them after the show.
Thanks for having us, our team here. I know Brad and some of the other folks would love to come by and speak with you and just give you some updates. But today is a perfect day. I mean, this is the Chamber of Commerce Day that we all hope for.
And as you're talking, we're actually inflating the balloon that's going to fly our Balloon Fiesta camera this morning.
Oh, that's spectacular.
Yeah, so we'll get shots of the field. It's going to be perfect because they're going to be basically at the beginning of the second wave here.
There's Nick right there going hot, actually.
Going hot there.
Well, again, if you need anything from us, you know how to reach us.
We do.
We'll
for
be
your
back and forth
cooperation
throughout the week. So thank you again for what y'all are doing.
We'll talk to you every morning. Thank you and your staff for cooperating and keeping everything safe here.
Thanks, Henry.
Henry Rosenbaum, the Balloonmeister here once again at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. And Nick is now hot with his Cowboy Dreams balloon. We saw him put the heat in, stand the balloon up.
We should be getting some great shots from this Maes Ascension.
So that's a heart. It's a heart in the top of the balloon. When balloons stand up, you always see the side of the balloon, of course, and you don't really see the top unless you can look up, or if you see it when it's laying down. And so having the camera there, being
he's
able
got
to see
that same graphic there on his upright covers.
Well, it is a Cowboy's dream.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So before he gets off, I think they said Diane has got someone to chat with. Diane, take it away.
Family here from Austin, Texas, and originally from Taiwan. I call them, their name is the Chen family. I call them the laughing family because I walk by. They've got the best. I just walked by it. I thought it was my hat. What are you so happy about?
I'm very excited to get here. It's actually my second time here. I see lots of balloons, yeah.
But I mean, I walked by and you're just laughing. So I had to stop by and see the Chen family. You brought your family. You've been here before.
Right. Yeah. I've been here 7 years ago, and the little one haven't been here since I think since 2017. So she saw all the photos of the hot air balloon, and she really want to come here. Yeah. So I have to take her here.
Yeah. That's why we are here second time.
Yeah.
Your wife is delightful.
She's just as happy about everything, huh?
Right. We really enjoy here.
Yeah. I was asking you because this is an international show. People from all over the world see this Balloon Fiesta live. Please, in Mandarin, tell folks the experience of Balloon Fiesta, what you've experienced here, what they're able to see. So speak in Mandarin, please.
这里是每个人应该都应该来一次的地方。这里是非常好玩的地方。所有的小朋友都很喜欢看到这么胖的热气球，我觉得是很值得来的地方。
And what would you like to add?
I would say, 就是这边的气球不是只有1个、2个，也不是有10个、20个，这里是用百来当单位，这里是很多几百颗气球在天上飞。
And translating it is, come to Fiesta?
Yeah. 来热气球节，在 Albuquerque 哦。
在美国的 Albuquerque 新墨西哥州。
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Wave to the camera. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Well, Diane continues to bring the international flair to the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
She does. Look at that shot from our balloon camera. Right there at the hand of the burner. It's just like your hand is on it.
Yes.
It's like you're putting the heat in that burner in the balloon and keeping things up.
And there's that sun from the shot that you were talking about.
And now, now you'll see the balloons, the colors of the balloons really pop. Not sure who that was with the red and white bottoms that we were looking at. I'm trying to see the sky and see who it might have been. I always love these shots where you see up, kind of like up the skirt, if you will, up into the balloon and see the inside as it flies. It's kind of like the shots we've been seeing as Nick has put the balloon.
There's Bruce Pivick from with the Wyoming balloon there.
Yeah.
And right next to him is William Wadsworth in Ricky Bobby. They named that after that movie.
Will's the current president of the local balloon club, the Albuquerque Aerostat Ascension Association, or Quad A.
And here's a fun fact. Who do you think taught Will how to fly?
I don't remember who taught.
Yours truly.
Was it? I thought you had a hand in that.
Yes, he was my first student. So when I got out of ballooning full time, he went in. So it's kind of like I replaced him, like in life. It's a life cycle of a balloonist.
Yeah. And there's It's a Zoo. Clark Harbold.
That's his 18th year, and he's also one of those Carolina pilots flying.
I was just going to say
Strong.
that. Yeah. Oh, I bet that was the Stars and Stripes. Now that I see the red, white, well.
Blair Kaufman, I believe.
That Blair used to own that balloon. Blair doesn't own that one anymore. And I'm trying to remember, what did I do? Trying to remember who does have it, but yeah, Blair used to fly that balloon. He's got a different one now. He's got one that's kind of got purple and hearts on it and that kind of stuff.
Let's see here. It is right here.
There's while we're looking for it,
Rusty Miller. That's who it is.
Okay, there on the screen is Hamlet, Doug Gant with When Pigs Fly. He always tells the story. He named his dad used to always tell him. Yeah, and here we go. Here we go. We're now airborne with Nick Abrams in Cowboy's Dream. Dylan on the camera today for us. And so as you fly off the field and you look back, this is what it looks like. So there's the bright sun, but we saw balloons inflated. We saw balloons in the cold inflation stage.
And Dylan is not turning around. He's actually standing in one spot. I'm watching Nick right now off the top of the field.
And Nick is spinning the balloon.
Yeah,
Nick is spinning the balloon. Yeah, what a great deal. Good job, Nick. Good job, Dylan. So there we are. There you can see balloons still in the inflation stage. There's one standing up, the yellow one with the black and blue. Looking back this way, you've got all those are going to be going off. There's the tie-dye balloon, hallucinations over there. There's the baby T-Rex, the white with the green popping out, the timepiece with the peace sign on it. That's going to be Gary Moore out of Nevada. In fact, there's Blair's balloon now, off to the lower left.
Yes, I see it.
Yeah, kind of the stair step, the kind of teal purple, and it's got little purple hearts on it. That's Blair's balloon. Look at the shot back at the field.
That's great. He's coming our way.
He is. He's going to come along right behind us. Now he's spinning it the other way.
Right.
Take it back the other way. When I called Nick and I said, hey, would you be interested in doing this for us this year? He was like, well, can I do this? And can I do that? Can I do? Yeah. And we got, and I said, yep. And he said, I'm in. And then we talked some more and he was, yeah. Oh, look at that. There's more balloons in that shot than most people see at a balloon rally anytime.
Absolutely.
Anywhere
Yeah,
else.
no, that's what we were saying the other day. You know, any normal weekend here in Albuquerque, you see more balloons than you see most other places.
Yeah.
It's one of the Coughing brothers there in the top left.
Should be Steve.
Steve, yep.
The KKOB balloon, Ron Curry flying it. It was KOB radio back in 1972. And over the years, they've added the K to it. And it always was 77 KOB.
Yes.
It was 770 AM. These days, they're now rebranding themselves as 96.3 FM. Same content, still on 77 AM, 7700 AM, but 96.3 AM. So let's, yeah, we can break away. Let's go see Diane and see who she's found. Well, before we do, there's the shot of our Cowboy
balloon.
Dream balloon. So that's where the balloon camera is. So when you're looking back at the ground, that's the balloon that you're looking down from. So now we can go out to Diane.
Hi, guys. I think we're here. We're here on the field, and I'm here with Christian Blanquart, and he is from Belgium. And he's very distinctive, not only because he's got these fantastic balloon pins, and he's nice and tall, and he's from Belgium, but also because he has a private collection of ballooning, of the history of ballooning, including 90, not miniature balloons, not balloon pins, but 90 hot air balloons stored in his property in Belgium. What types of things are you collecting and why?
It's important to, the old balloons are not loose. So we collect balloons and we give it a second life. The second life, we go to schools for education. What is hot air ballooning? How it works, how it see out inside. So children are wondered of the old balloons.
So you don't want to put, there's not a graveyard for balloons. There's Christian's storage property for these balloons. 90 balloons, some of them special shapes. You're giving them a second life by going to schools, educating kids. You are able to still inflate them. You don't fly them, but you still inflate the balloons and the kids go ooh and awe. And tell me, what are some of the special shapes that you still have?
Yeah.
Some of that we used to perhaps see here at Fiesta.
Yeah, we have the old jumbos. So I have here the pin here. So we have two of this.
Jumbo, what is
Jumbos. It's an airplane with a hot air balloon. So it's old balloons of Richard Branson collection. We have the cooling tower, the Agfac photocan, the Samsung printer. So
did some of these fly at Fiesta here in Albuquerque?
Some of the balloons are here years before of the Fiesta, yes.
And what other things other than balloons do you collect? Newspaper articles?
Yes, I have. We start with newspaper articles in 1847 original.
1847, I keep saying 1847, the year.
Yeah, in great format. And then photographs, stickers, pins, all together, all with the balloon on.
A lot of us collect the pins and the stickers. It's just that the fact that you have 90 hot air balloons stored in Belgium. Thank you so much, Christian, for all you're doing to preserve the history of ballooning in the world. And now, please, in Dutch, just explain to your friends back home about the Fiesta in your native tongue. In Dutch. Say something. Speak.
Het was een plezier om hier te zijn in Albuquerque. Het is altijd ja, moet ik het zeggen, een heel avontuur eigenlijk. En dat maakt het zo goed. En zo mooi eigenlijk. Zoveel ballons, zoveel nationaliteiten, veel piloten, veel correspondenten die we hier ook terugzien. Nu was het 6 jaar geleden en het is fantastisch om hier te zijn. Prachtig weer, veel ballonnen. Meer moet je niet hebben eigenlijk.
Back at you, Christian. Back at you. Thank you. Back to you guys on the stage.
Thanks, Diane. Thanks, Christian. Thank you very much. So, catch up on a few balloons that went by. I saw Annie the Ladybug, although for some reason we're calling it She's a Lady this year, got by us.
Right.
There's the Is Risen balloon. And here's the shot back at, actually it's kind of looking downwind. This is where they're headed, is where the balloons we're seeing from our balloon cam. Up in Cowboy's Dream with Nick Abrams as the pilot. Dylan's our camera person. So as Henry Rosenbaum told us a few minutes ago, it's kind of like all down to the city of Albuquerque today.
If you're south of the field, you're getting a show.
You're getting a show.
Now I know we're going to call this the brain balloon all week, but and there's another special shape going right along the side of the Sandias.
So what? And you know, the other thing we get with these shapes is like, they seem like they change the name of these shapes all the time on us.
Right.
So what we may have called at one point, they may be calling it something different.
Well, like you said, Blair had changed balloons. You know, balloonists get really, I guess, bored with their envelopes, so they're, you know, it's like you're changing your socks.
Blair does seem to do that. He definitely does. So. Yeah.
Will you look over the side of the basket on that side and see if there's anyone?
We're still on the first wave, actually.
We got a couple second waivers in front of us, just laid out,
yep.
waiting. Obviously, they'll be here a little while.
Yep. But we're moving through things.
Yeah, you know, yesterday it was a little bit slow and go. We had that curveball with the winds, and you know, it's always that first day jitters for everyone. And I think the Zebras have done a fantastic job today of getting these guys off the ground this morning.
There's the Meow Wolf balloon and the Sull Air balloon.
There's Nick.
Yep.
He can't hear us, but we can see him.
And he needs to be paying attention to his flying anyway.
Absolutely. Well, I was about to say, if you watch him, look at his eyes. He's scanning left and right. He's checking around. Now he's smiling at us.
Yeah, they kind of told him. Yeah. That line's probably going to be one of his turning vent lines. So when he pulls on that, that's what Maes can rotate that we talked about. He was giving us that great shot around. So Blair's kind of going just overhead as a few others. Kind of just launching from all over the field. A safe and coordinated launch.
And look, there's the new Smoky on the bottom left there of the
bottom
screen.
Left, yeah, we're looking at it from the backside.
Beth Wright Smith is the PIC.
So I think that's going to be the view from the Main Street stage camera. So we see his face. That shot had it from the backside. And this is our new camera over on the west side. The same camera. We used to have a fixed camera that we showed pilots briefing from. Now we have a controllable camera over there, so we can see the pilots briefing in the morning, and we can get shots from this side. So we've got cameras on the north, east, west, and south of the field, as well as 2 mobile cameras. One, of course, we've been talking about up in the balloon with Nick, and one that's out there with Diane. There's Gary Moore's Peace balloon. Timepiece, I think, is what
you are correct.
He calls that one. Later in the week, we'll see Gary with Albert Einstein. Albert Owlstein. Something like that.
It's the owl. That's the owl special shape.
Yeah, the owl. Yeah, one of the owls.
Yes.
And there's why, the peace sign. What a great morning here.
It's a fantastic morning.
Great morning. Someone wants to know when competition starts. It starts tomorrow. Competition is on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And let's see. Someone says they see Yoda in the sky. I haven't seen Yoda yet.
Yoda is right over the top of us.
Well, no wonder.
Master Yoda.
Oh, okay. No wonder. Look up, Art.
There's Mr. Benoit, the pilot in command.
All righty.
I hear we have another person that Diane has gotten to down on the field. So, Diane, who do you have for us now?
Why do I have this cowboy hat on? Because we are part of Texas here. We have some lovely ladies from Austin, Texas. And as we know here at Fiesta, people come here to get married, to celebrate anniversaries, and also birthdays. We have a birthday girl right here, Shirley from Austin, Texas. Welcome to the Balloon Fiesta. And this is your lovely sister, Janine. You wanted to celebrate your birthday at the Fiesta.
Yes, I do.
Why?
Why? Because I love hot air balloons, and this, I always see it on TV. And I decided this is 1 year that I'm celebrating a milestone birthday that I would love to.
20? 25?
Thank you. 19 and holding.
19 and holding.
19 and holding. But anyway, I wanted to come here and witness these balloons myself because I've been an artist in Texas for a while, and I've always painted balloons, but I've never had an opportunity to be here.
She's always what, Janine?
She's painted balloons her whole life. She's painted hot air balloons. She was the first living artist in history, living artist, whose work was in the rotunda of the state capitol of Texas during our sesquicentennial as a living artist. Most artists are deceased whose works hang in the Capitol. Her work was in the rotunda displayed during the Texas sesquicentennial. She painted hot air balloons a lot of her life and never seen them in person in her lifetime.
This is the first time you're seeing them, Shirley?
First time, and I'm just so thrilled to be able to be here and see all these balloons go up at one time, and it's just something I never would imagine.
Why would you paint balloons? Why did you choose to paint balloons?
Balloons are festive, and it makes you happy, and every time I paint balloons, it's just something about balloons. People get balloons for birthday, it's a celebration, so it's a celebration.
And for your birthday, you've got a lot of balloons here, Shirley. What a perfect day to celebrate your birthday, your 19 and holding birthday. Well, congratulations. And how many years is sesquicentennial?
150 years.
It's 50. Isn't the 52? The 52 of the sesquicentennial. This was the sesquicentennial of Texas. Yeah. This was when they celebrate the sesquicentennial in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Are your photos still hanging?
Oh, no, they were there. They was for the. They were there for the sesquicentennial on display.
Describe this painting for me.
This painting is the Capitol here in Austin, Texas, and also I collect stamps, and all of my stamps are in the balloons. Each balloon have stamps in them that represent that particular person.
And this one?
This one is when Obama was in office, and all of these are stamps of his home, and then stamps of different places.
You're a big collector there. Stamps and balloons. Ladies, let's sing it on our way out. Happy birthday to you. And everybody else out there having a birthday. Back at you.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, Diane. Happy birthday to the lady there. That's great. Hey, well, lots of things to catch up on while you were chatting there that we saw. There's that the special shape with the mask and the snorkel. And I was looking it up in here, and they list the name as its registration number. So I don't know if it's got a name or what it is, but it's Thomas Siebel. And actually, we were looking at this balloon yesterday wondering what it is. The back side of it does have Siebel on the back. So Siebel ballooning. On this side, we see flowers and those types of things. And there was the mask. There's the back side. We were just looking at the mask when I was talking about it. So now we know what that balloon is. We don't know the name of it.
I think we'll just call it Snorkel.
We'll just call it Snorkel. Siebel Snorkel. Yeah, we'll just call it that. What a great balloon, though. Yeah. What a great new special shape here. That has made it for us. There's the Betty's Baby Grand with the music to Yesterday on it.
And those are those racer balloons that we're going to start seeing in competition starting tomorrow. There's a couple of them right there.
There's a couple of them there, yeah. Yeah, Betty Bowens, Mike Bowens flies that one there. And there's Arabelle standing up. She's not quite awake yet.
No.
Hasn't got her head all the way up. Behind it, the hug balloon, the bear and the elephant hugging.
And before that, we saw Smokey upright.
Saw a number of shots of Smokey. That's brand new balloon.
Yeah, I went out Friday to Albuquerque Aloft, and it was something else about smelling a brand new. It's like a brand new car.
Yeah.
And it was funny, you know, as many years as Beth Wright Smith has been in balloons, to see the look on her face was like Christmas Day, like opening a package of something that she really, really wanted, and she was like a little kid.
Yeah, I bet.
But balloons bring out the little kid in all of us.
They do. Our balloon is landing while Smokey is taking off, so we're coming in for a landing here. Always like to put the pilot on the spot when we're, you know, not only do you, it's one thing to see him land from outside, but to watch him on live TV.
No pressure.
Being watched around the world. You know what it's like because you flew for us
Yes,
one year.
yes.
So you just kind of bring it down. And I think we're on the ground.
Yep.
We're on the ground.
Nicely done.
Yep.
There's Bill Lee in the New Mexico True Balloon next to Frankie Martinez in the Rax Balloon.
Bill Lee puts together a balloon rally in Gallup, New Mexico, the first weekend in December every year.
Probably the coldest balloon rally I've ever attended.
Yes, I've been there when it's been cold. Although I've flown colder places. In Angel Fire, New Mexico one year, you didn't see the breath coming out, you saw ice crystals coming out.
Well, I was about to say, when I was in Gallup one year, it's the only place I've ever seen that I've been in the world where you watch ice crystals form on sand.
Yeah. There's our macaws. The red macaw, the blue macaw. The red one is being flown for us by Ricardo de Alameda. And the blue one flown by, oh yeah.
Yondo Blando Justo.
There you
We'll go with that.
We'll
This
go
is their
with
first
that.
Fiesta, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Yep. We were talking with Vampirilla last night. There's Vampirilla, the devil-looking balloon on the left, and that's another one of our. No, that's Sumo. That balloon, I believe, is from Mexico. Let me verify that.
Yeah, there is. You can see the the N number or the identification number there with the Mexican flag, actually.
Yeah. Mariel Escamilla in the Sumo balloon.
You know, as a pilot, you know, you're looking up here and you're getting this nice little layer of wind that kind of gets you off the field and clears the field for everyone, and it's better than, you know, a lot of fans, a lot of the people here that love balloons would like you to stick around. But as a pilot, when you're flying with all of these friends of yours, getting a nice little burst of air a couple hundred feet off the ground to pull you away is much more reassuring. So,
And there's one of our TikTok balloons. A couple of clock balloons that we have out here this year. And do you notice here that it seems like we kind of definitely get a wave and we get a whole bunch of balloons trying to come over, and then there's just a little pause, and then we come again. Yeah, so there's the chicken in the egg balloon.
Yes.
Inside
and with these waves, that means that the launch team is doing everything they are correctly, because we're getting these waves off, and they're clearing the field and giving enough spacing for these balloons so they're not nervous as they're coming out of the field or climbing.
I see Judy Nakamura's balloon bounce up there as well. We don't have it on the camera, but I see her flying up there. She, of course, flew the Fiesta Gold balloon yesterday with the governor. And the governor posted to Facebook about what a great flight they had and how great it was to see so many people here as well. There's a great shot of Vampirella flying right over us.
Right over us.
And I see Ron Sanchez in the Bubba's balloon coming at us, which we'll get him on the camera if we can as we get to that point. The sloth is up out there, and Diane has found yet someone else interesting to talk to. Diane?
I have got Chevy Chase here with me from National Lampoon's Vacation. Christmas Vacation, what was a Vegas vacation. Chevy Chase, take it away. Are you Chevy Chase?
No, I'm Robert Moncrief, live here in Rio Rancho. This is my wife, Janet Safara, also pilot on this balloon.
So why did I mistake you for Chevy Chase at Vacation?
Because our balloon is named Vacation.
How did you name your balloon Vacation?
So I went on a flight, and for about 20 minutes in the air, I was like, this is like a vacation. And so that's sort of how the name of my balloon was born, and it's how I invite people into my balloon. I say, would you like to go on vacation?
This Would you like to go on a vacation? They're thinking Hawaii, Vegas. No, right here in Albuquerque, right in the sky. We're going on vacation. Oh,
Yes.
that's adorable.
Yes.
You've been flying for 5 years?
I have been flying for 9 years.
9 years? Chevy Chase, 5.
5 years for me, yes.
So your wife started before you,
Yes,
as always it is.
absolutely. That's how it should be.
Well, that's what she says.
Trailblazing, right? Us women.
What would you like to tell me about all your friends here? And you have your niece from.
I have.
She wanted to be on.
Turn around.
What did you want to say? Where are you from?
Georgia.
Georgia. We're happy to have you from Georgia. And we're glad that you're here. We're glad that you have your little robot and you're nice and warm. You're from Georgia too.
And these are
so you're all on vacation. Are we all going to be on vacation today, or just how many can you fit in your balloon?
Pilot plus 3.
So we're going to have 4 on vacation. Thank you. Thanks, Chevy. Appreciate you, Chevy. Bye.
Oh yeah, Robert and Janet out there, great people.
We just saw Rick Kerbler in the Meow Wolf balloon take off. There was a large roar of the crowd as that left.
And there it goes.
Yeah, there it goes.
That was a brand new balloon for us last year. Big secret unveiling here at Balloon Fiesta.
I wonder if Nick was inspired by that balloon, but the way that it looks, very,
Yeah, I've always meant to ask Nick about that, so to see what his thoughts might be about that. In fact, until I got to know Nick's balloon better, I always kind of said, yeah, it's that balloon that looks a little bit like Meow Wolf.
All right.
As I would describe it to somebody, but now I can otherwise describe it.
I believe that's Pixie right there, isn't it not? Laying down, ready to go hot.
There's Sol Air. That should be Sean Rea. Yep. Hey, way out there to the, I was going to say, there's the puppy dogs. We've got dogs seem to be a new theme in special shapes.
Yep. That's Buster the Bulldog right there. That's who that is, being flown by Ian Martin. Third year here at Fiesta.
And actually chasing, we missed the shot there, but it's chasing Bella the Bulldog. She's right here.
Oh, I see her.
Bella's over the top of us, and Buster is chasing her. So they're kind of a couple. There was a great, there's Bella.
Yeah.
Good deal.
No slobber coming out of those snouts this morning. There's Barbara.
And there's, and there's Frankenstein.
Yep.
You're talking about the Roadrunner Coyote balloon. Oh, there's Zozobra.
There is a Zozobra. That's a joint venture, right, between the city of Albuquerque and the city of Santa Fe, if I'm not mistaken, and the Kiwanis Club?
And the Kiwanis Club in Santa Fe, yeah. So Zozobra, for those of you not from here, celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. It's this Old Man Gloom. And at the beginning of September every year, they create Old Man Gloom, and they invite people to submit their problems and their troubles on paper. They put them in there, and they burn Old Man Gloom, and all of your bad times are gone.
Exactly.
So
and there's a great shot of it, where it says "Burn Me" on the bottom. Again, I don't know if I'd be, as a pilot, wanting to burn the fabric, right? That would be costly.
It would be. It would.
And then all your problems would not be solved.
That's right. Now you just created a whole new set.
There's a shot of Nick. I don't know if he's airborne or not again, but
he's doing a flicker burn for us. Yeah. So, yep. That is a great shot up inside the balloon.
Steggy, the dinosaur, right?
Yep. And there is a remote control balloon of Steggy as well. And in just a little bit, we should start seeing our Globitos, our remote control balloons, setting up out on the far northeast corner of the field.
Melissa Bond is our Globitos Balloonmeistress, and she's very passionate about that area of ballooning. She, I believe, owns 3 or 4 on her own. And Chuck Raskob, who has been at Fiesta forever, also has a balloon. I believe there's a lot of pilots, talking to Dr. Tom today, there's a lot of pilots who kind of have retired from flying, but now they're going back and they're doing the little globitos, so the ballooning never really gets out of them.
And they're made out of the same fabric. They're about a quarter the size. They fly the same way. You put heat in them. They go up. You let them cool off. They come down. We just don't put people in them because they're so small they don't have enough lift. So most of them will put like stuffed animals.
They do have passengers, yes.
Those kinds of passengers in there as well. Look at this shot. You got balloons on the ground. You got balloons inflating, standing up. Betty's Baby Grand is flying. The Tic Tac's up there. The Macaw's up there. Steggy's back there. There's the big hug balloon.
Tall
Steve.
Steve. Puddles. One of Puddles or
Puddles or Splash.
Yep.
Without being able to see the eyelashes or the skirt, it's hard to tell the difference between those two. And since it's looking away, there's Frank.
Princess Nellie up there on the right of that shot.
Oh yeah, saw a great shot of her earlier.
And there's that shot of the Sandia Mountains and that blast of sunlight and color that you get to see only here in New Mexico.
And the first wave is starting to kind of
thin out.
Well, and just kind of mold into the second wave as well, yeah. We always kind of talk about the waves as if they're very definitive, and they kind of are on paper.
Ish.
Yeah, but then in practice, it's kind of like by the time you're getting the end of the first wave off, the second wave's actually ready to go and start, and so it just kind of continues to morph right through. Looks like the big hug balloon is actually getting airborne. So a great morning here at
There's Nick on the ground.
Yep. Threw the cameraman out. What a great shot. Wave at us, Nick.
Up here he comes. He's coming at us.
Yeah. Well, taking the camera person out, I don't know if he had another passenger with him or not this morning, but when you take everybody out, then of course you have less weight. It takes less heat to fly. So I think he's looking to maneuver to a slightly different spot.
To lay the balloon out.
Lay the balloon down. Well, there's some like sticks or posts right there I see.
Right.
So he's going to move just a little bit to make it, looks like maybe even a fence back there. So just kind of move it a few feet.
Or maybe he's just hamming it up to show us how,
Well, that could be too. Nick told me he was going to be a ham and he'd get us some great shots.
There you go.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a time actually when I was in Gallup, New Mexico. I took my youngest son Tyler, and I stuck him on a rock with a camera, and I said, I'll be back. And I flew up the canyon, flew up high, came back, and then picked it back up and put it back in the basket. We flew to the next canyon. Oh. And later on, my wife said, well, why would you just leave him on a rock?
Because I needed him to take pictures.
That's right.
There.
He needed to be our cameraman.
Yeah. Lottie Dottie Chicken back there. Wes the Wolf and Hunter the Fox. And then Tall Steve. There goes Hunter the Fox.
It's great. We're seeing a lot of shapes today.
But we have about 126 of them here. About 20 of them we'll only see on Thursday and Friday, which means we see the other 100 throughout the week.
Did you hear what you said? 100 special shapes.
Yes.
There are some places. There are some places in the U.S. where you don't even see 100 balloons, and yet here in Albuquerque, we have over 100 special shapes. And
Fabio Lopez flying the Hunter the Fox.
And they're always fan favorite with the kids. Well, I think everybody's a kid out here, but the kids really enjoy them.
And Philippe Audenart from Belgium with the big hug balloon, Hug-A-Bear.
There's Sir Mix-a-Lot and Zozobra.
Well, that would be an interesting one to see both of them stand up next to each other.
I think that's what they're attempting to do right here.
Yeah.
Mark Trianis, I believe, is piloting Zozobra, and let me tell you, that's a lot of fabric there at the bend point. Come on, almost. It's almost like it's almost like he's dancing right there. He looks like he's.
Well, and for those who have been to the burning of Zozobra, you see that when they start that, the puppet just kind of wobbles and waves, and so he's kind of doing that same thing as Mark is standing it up. And obviously you can kind of see the heat. It kind of is up about mid-body, and it's starting to get up to his head.
Well, and if you look also, you see the two lines right there at his right arm.
Yeah.
I noticed this when they first inflated him up at Fort Marcy Park in Santa Fe the day before, or the day of Zozobra.
Yes.
There's not really a crown line. There is a crown at the top, but they actually.
It's more in the right at his neckline.
More at his chest. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. There he is. There's a great shot of Zozobra. Good job, Mark.
Nice.
So Zozobra is actually 10,000 cubic feet less than Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Wow.
So they're pretty close to the same size in volume.
Well, and as being pilots, could you imagine getting up there and the current you're going to get off those ears and those arms and those fingers and.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at how tall that puppy is.
Wow. I'm adding to the 80,000 photos right now on my phone.
Oh, someone says that, that you're getting close to theirs on here. Nick's back in the air.
Yes, he is.
Nick's back in the air.
I told you he was hamming it up.
Yeah. Because we're airborne again in our balloon camera.
Well, then why not? It's a wonderful day to fly.
It is. It is. You know. There goes Frankenstein. I saw Frankie Boy, the baby Frankenstein, go by earlier. There's one of the penguin balloons.
I can't tell from there.
Nope, can't quite tell from that shot which one it is. Looks like it might be blue.
There's Debbie Oskelin.
Oh, yeah.
And Plum Fired Up. Deb's funny, all of her entire crew. She's a hairstylist, and every year right before Fiesta, I always see her Facebook posts, and everybody's getting their hair purpleized.
So that penguin would be Puddles, I believe.
There's
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
When we saw the Zozobra balloon before, there was that little kind of blue little bird. Is Pico with Andrew Holly flying. So Airbell, we talked about not actually flying. They did kind of stand her up for a while. And what they typically do if they don't fly her, then when they put her down and kind of put her back in the bag, they stand up the little Moo Crew balloon. Creamland Dairy sponsoring both of those balloons for us, that entire group.
I'm still amazed about this Zozobra balloon, how large it is.
Yeah.
There's a great shot. As our Balloonmeister Henry Rosenbaum said, this is a Albuquerque day. Chamber of Commerce day.
Look at that face.
Look at that shot.
Look at that face.
We have everything flying in the skies of Mexico. We have cheetahs, we have chickens, we have Old Man Gloom. And he's flying.
He's flying it.
Wow.
There goes Zozobra.
He's going to do it.
Yeah. What a great shot. Would have been nice to see Sir Mix-a-Lot standing up next to him.
Yeah.
Although Sir Mix-a-Lot's volume seems to be more horizontal, where the volume in Zozobra is vertical.
Vertical, yeah.
And typical of the Andrew Holly fleet, they're always photobombing the great shots. There's one of his West the Wolf.
West the Wolf.
We had the Pico in there. We had the Cheetah in there.
And look, he's pulling the turning vent, so he's gonna get a face on there.
It's going to be great. What a great morning.
Well, no one would be disappointed they came out to Fiesta Field this morning. No one online should be disappointed from what we're providing you guys worldwide.
So there's the basket of Zozobra. So you see how wide and how flat the bottom is, and you've talked about that, so you can't really read it, but the red at the bottom of that balloon is where it says burn me.
It looks like he's going to come right over the rooftop studio, so we're going to get a great shot of that. So we hear Diane's down on the field with another interview. Diane, who do you have for us now?
We are on a chase crew truck, but we are on a chase crew truck, and this is the most unique truck I've seen out here at Balloon Fiesta. I've got Jerry from Amarillo, Texas, and your balloon is?
Skystar.
Skystar. And what kind of truck are we in? And let's hear
1941 fire truck.
1941. Let's hear the bell. How many people? How many crew people do you have here, Jerry?
Whatever's on the truck.
I think there's a load limit, isn't there?
No, not on this truck.
No. Oh, but high fives, wave to the camera. What year was this? 1941.
Tyler Young owns this.
Tell me a little bit about the truck.
I've been driving it for almost 28 years. I met him when I was working for a freight company, and Sylvan Young owned it, and that's how I got started. And now I drive it.
Does it stay here in New Mexico?
It stays here in Albuquerque.
You don't drive it from Amarillo to come here to be in the Fiesta?
It's a local.
What do people think about this truck?
Oh, they love it.
What do they love about it?
Everything. Look at it. It's awesome.
Why is that?
Because it's a tough truck.
It's a tough truck?
It's a tough truck.
You've got the best job with the bell?
Yes, I do.
Hey, Jerry, where's your balloon right now?
Over there.
Over
It's way out there. That's why we left, to go get it.
Do you go very fast in this 1941 fire truck?
It'll go. It's got a good engine in it.
Well, we thank Kevin for being a great cameraman shooting all this. Okay, guys, wave goodbye. Thanks, Kevin. Let's hear that bell.
One way to get around the field, huh?
Absolutely.
So we saw Zozobra come right over the top of us, and there's Sir Mix-a-Lot standing up. We talked about that. That truck, that balloon itself is 140,000 cubic feet. The drum alone is 105,000 cubic feet, which is bigger than probably most of the balloons that are flying here, which average about 90,000 cubic feet.
There's Alicorn and Sloth.
Having a little conversation out there.
Yeah. I actually had the privilege of flying both of those balloons at one
Have
time. Yep. Owned by a couple brothers from upstate New York, the Monahans.
Always fun balloons. Another great shot of Zozobra in
wow.
the air.
Next to my old balloon.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're definitely into the second wave here now, just kind of morphed into that. So we still have another, probably about another 25% of our 550 balloons. People always ask, how many balloons do you have? Well, we kind of just tell it, we're about 100, we're about 550 balloons. We heard Tom McConnell talk earlier about having more than 1,000 balloons in the year 2000 and how chaotic it was. Even for our 50th 2 years ago, we brought the number up to 650, and we really kind of overfilled the field with balloons that year. We find that 550 works nicely for lots of logistical reasons, so we basically cap at 550. Fluctuates by a few because we take more than 550 in case some people drop out. Some years more people drop out than others. So I think we officially ended up at 556. But as you've mentioned many times this week, Ted, all flights are always at the discretion and final discretion, total discretion of the pilot, the PIC.
Well, another thing that maybe people do or don't know is that some pilots have multiple envelopes.
Yes.
And those count as a registration of so you may not see that, on a certain day. I don't think we could launch 557 balloons because some of them are asleep in the trailer.
Well, when you actually start looking at the balloons, now we're talking closer to 700 balloons,
Right.
600 and some balloons. I forget what the actual number is. So, yes, there's a lot of extra balloons. And so you pick the one you want to fly that day, whether it may be the racer, the regular shape, maybe you're flying a special shape, whatever those are. So, yes, a number of pilots bring a second. There are a couple that are actually registered on 3 balloons. But there's only one banner. so they can only move their
Right, you have to
550
swap
banners.
your banner.
You have to, you swap the basket and the banner around, or at least the banner around, so that we won't have any more than that 550 in the sky at any time. But there's a number of other envelopes. And then it's Sunday. The Chick-fil-A balloon doesn't fly on Sunday,
right.
So it stays in the trailer. And I know that there are 3 of them here. There's only 1 registered to fly at Fiesta, but they brought the fleet in for a photo day before Balloon Fiesta.
I just received a text from my second mother. She lives down in the Los Altos area of Albuquerque, which is right just south of Central Boulevard on Old Coors Road. And she says she's getting a show down there. So,
I'll bet.
So they were not wrong with that prediction, with what Henry and Brad talked about at the pilot's brief. Feel free to fly south and fly south far. You know, one of the rules out here, Art, that a lot of the pilots and local pilots and the people who come in, they really want to know about the flying area. Typically, you know, we're getting at 8 o'clock now. Most of these local guys will really not go off after 9 o'clock. And we kind of saw that yesterday. We saw some people try and set up, and they elected not to fly. They pulled out. They just wanted to, you know, get the crowd involved. So, you know, as we get to these second waves, you're going to kind of see it thin out a little bit more. But at the end of the day, what a show we've already had.
Absolutely. And I actually see the first
Globito
of our Globitos out there. We'll get a camera shot of it here in a little bit. The little fire puppy.
Fire dog.
Fire dog. So they'll be setting up. They're on the far northeast corner. You could probably get it from the roof here.
I believe they took over the road that the ride balloons were on after they left in between.
They're all the way out in the north end. Oh, is that the road? Yeah. They're supposed to be on the ride road, but we can see it. Hey, there goes Sir Mix-a-Lot in the sky. There's the remote control.
There's a little mini Wind Pigs fly down there I could see.
And there's Sir Mix-a-Lot. So now we got really big balloons. We got regular size balloons. We got mini size balloons.
Now the question would be, how many Globitos could we fly inside Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Wow.
Now, that would be interesting.
We'll have to do some math on that. Yeah, especially if that were all open. But
right.
Of course, we know that it's not. If you were to look up inside, you'd see basically the regular shape of a balloon inside that. But it flies nice. I actually did see it flying before Balloon Fiesta. They did a big reveal here one day, and then they've flown it for a couple of days after that, all before Fiesta. Looks great in the sky, and it's definitely recognizable. Duke City Ready Mix decided that they wanted to be an integral part of the ballooning community, and what a great special shape.
A lot of stitches in that fabric.
A lot of fabric in that balloon. We're going to get a great view of it as it comes this way.
Yep, it's going to come right over us.
So there's a great shot of the size of the basket of that Globitos balloon. So you can see there's nobody in it. The guy's standing there holding on to it. So that's how you see. That's the size where you put your doll, your stuffed dog, your animal, something like that in there, and that's what becomes your passenger. They leave those on a tether rope, so they'll go up. I think they can go up to about 50 feet on the rope is what the rules say. And you'll be able to go up there and let it up there, and then you let it cool off, and it comes down. You could free fly it, not here at Balloon Fiesta, but then you're running down the field chasing it. There's nobody controlling it as it gets away from things.
Well, funny little story. When I was on the flight safety team here at Fiesta a couple years ago when we first got the Globitos, I get a call on the radio, and they said, hey, I think we have one loose. And sure enough, we had one loose. And it didn't go very far. But when you took a picture of it, it actually looked like a real balloon in the air until you got close to it, and it came down. And the operator was very embarrassed about that situation. But, hey, it was all in good fun.
So there's one of the Fiesta balloons. This is actually, I don't know if this is the actual envelope or if it's a remake. I think it's a remake.
That is a
remake,
rebuild,
right?
yes. A home-built remake, yes.
So the very first Fiesta balloon, basically designed by Bob Ruppenthal and some folks many years ago, and they were actually playing with different shapes. And so you can see this one's a little more cylindrical. You could almost call it a forerunner of today's racer balloon.
Exactly.
But so it's been kind of rebuilt, reconstructed. We mentioned the Roadrunner Coyote balloon is another one along those ways. A number of these balloons they were so iconic in the late 70s that it's just you didn't want them to go away. So we just kind of keep rebuilding them.
And if you look there's the larger, they replicated the larger end
the end
numbers.
number, yeah. You can read that from far away where it's hard to read them otherwise.
Right. And that's flown by Ryan Gunther, 6th year here at Fiesta.
And he has one of those others. Sky Chariot was one of the other early balloons in town here. Regular shape, red, white, blue. Got the bunting around it that, of course, we've made those balloons so heavy.
Well, and Dr. Tom was talking earlier about your first ride is free, and the second one is now about $25,000. You have to think back to the 70s. Their first ride was free. What was it? Probably $5,000 or $6,000, which was a lot of money back then.
It was like 15 to 20. Nowadays, it's more like 45 or 50. If you go new,
right?
You can always get in for less than that for cheaper. But you know, the other part of that is that the actual cost of the balloon is only part of it, and that's kind of a one-time expense. Then you get into the upkeep. Of course, you have to have a chase truck, maybe a trailer, a gas for the truck when you chase, the propane for the balloons, provided by Balloon Fiesta through Pinnacle Propane here. But when you're out flying on a regular basis, there's all the weekly expenses of flying a balloon.
Well, then you have your insurance premiums, and you have your
Yeah.
yearly maintenance.
Yeah.
These are aircraft, so they are maintained, and they have to either 100 hours or one calendar year where you take it to a repair station and they certify your balloon as being airworthy.
And then, of course, we like to tailgate after flights. And so usually as the pilot, you're bringing some food and drink out. You've had these crew members do some lifting and some work for you, and they got up early and bundled up or whatever.
Yeah, if we get a shot back up there in the northeast corner, we're going to start to see a lot of globitos out there. I see a little alien from down here.
Yeah. We were talking about how you mentioned that there was look at them all popping in there. Yeah. And how sometimes you can't tell them, depending on the shot, you can't tell whether those are the regular full-size balloons or they're the globitos. A couple of years ago, we had an airship flying around as part of Fiesta and had some pictures from there. And you look down at you take the shot down there and you say, well, are those globitos or are those the regular balloons?
Right.
You really couldn't tell. In fact, we had a long discussion about putting the program together, about needing some more photos of the globitos that showed the perspective of the size, like with people. There goes the slop right overhead and right on our camera.
It had slothed enough on the field, it was ready to go in the air.
And Spidey Pig. And there's mini one of those.
Yes, there is a globito of that as well.
Yeah. So as we continue to watch balloons here, Diane has managed to snag yet another person. So Diane, take it away.
Okay, I've got one of the best kept secrets of all of Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. I have been coming to the Balloon Fiesta for 40 years and I did not know of this secret. It's the secret location that Katie from Albuquerque and Jules from Santa Fe and their kids discovered. We're on the golf course right next to the Balloon Fiesta, right a part of the Fiesta. See the sand trap right there? Look at the nice mounds around the sand trap. This is like the driving range, and then they have, I think, a 3-hole little course, a mini course right here. And I'd say this is the best kept secret.
It is the best view in the house.
Why is that?
You can see, you have a panoramic view of of all the balloons going up, and then you even see the spots where they're going to land as well.
Jules, what do you think the spot? I mean, you're on the grass, you're on a mound, you're up high, and you're not by a big crowd of people.
We're not. That's why the kids wanted to come over here, because it's kind of off to the side a bit, a little secluded. They can run around, we all feel safe, and we can see everything.
So let's not tell anybody about it. Let's not tell anybody about it. Okay. What do you were the one who discovered this.
Because where we were originally going to sit, we couldn't go there anymore, so we had to go somewhere else, and this was kind of near it, and it just kind of worked.
It just worked out. There's just a few people around us. I'm going to let our cameraman, Kevin, take a panoramic view of this beautiful area that we discovered thanks to you. Thanks, guys. Back to you at the studio. Sorry, you've got a great bird's eye view at the studio, but we have a nice, comfortable, grassy area right here on the 3-hole course right at Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta Park. Kevin, show us how beautiful this is here.
Meteorologist for the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Great job this morning, Brad.
Yes, Brad.
Well, you make that happen this morning. So what do we expect for the rest of the week?
You know, it looks really good the next few days. We've got high pressure dominating across the west, and we do have a little bit of a boundary east of the mountains that's going to try to make its way to the west here, but its visit may not even make it here. So if it stays to the east of the mountains, that makes it even better for us, and it just looks like fantastic weather here the next few days. If that boundary is able to get just enough to the west where it could pick up the winds this afternoon, but if it stays east of the mountain, which is what we're wish casting, we'll say, then everything's going to be great, even for the glow tonight. It'll be just phenomenal.
Excellent. So a little bit of challenge yesterday. What was happening with the stuff going on yesterday morning?
Yeah, so yesterday was a really interesting case where we just had a fast layer there and it was behind a front. And we were watching that fast layer, and it was going to moderate with time, but it was just on the edge. But we were able to get, just enough. It was slow enough, just enough for a flight. So it worked out okay.
Having to wait it out was good.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But today is even better. We just got that slow wind, and it just really, really comfortable for the pilots. And we don't have the box yet, but that's one of those things that we can't give it to you every day, because if it would be too perfect.
Well, yeah, we're kind of mixing things up. Yesterday we sent them out to the northwest, so they went to Rio Rancho. Today they're going south for the city. We'll get a box later this week, you think?
Yes, yeah. With this high pressure system hanging around, I think the chances of seeing a box some point this week. My bet, if I was to bet right now, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, it'd look really, really good, and that would be ideal for competition, right?
I was just going to say, absolutely. Monday and Tuesday competition days, we'll see multiple passes. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah, it looks really phenomenal. I mean, this is just perfect weather. Other than the heat, that's the biggest challenge. With the heat being so, it's comfortable for us, right? We have one less layer on than normal, or maybe two. But that's a challenge for the pilots in the fact that they can't take as much weight, so they can't take as many people up with them, unfortunately.
Can you explain for our audience a little bit about why that is? What is it about the heat that changes how balloons respond and the number of weight?
Yeah, so typically you have to heat the inside of the balloon about 100 degrees warmer than the outside temperature to just get off the ground. And then you can only heat the balloon to so warm before it becomes a problem, especially for the fabric. So given that that's the case, we're really limited, and being at 5,000, 6,000 feet, we have to heat the balloon that much more. And so really it's a challenge of heating the balloon to the point where you just can't, you'll overtemp the balloon and damage the fabric. So you just can't take that much weight on board, especially at altitude like we're at here.
Well, and we've heard you mention on the pilot briefing weather deals about density altitude and how that impacts things as well.
Yep. So density altitude, basically what you want to think of it as that's the altitude that you're starting your flight at. So instead of being at 5,500 feet, which is what we're at here in Albuquerque, the density altitude this morning has been closer to 6,000 or even 6,500 or maybe even 7,000 as we saw yesterday morning.
Yes.
So that's just putting you that much higher, and the balloon's going to be the burners are going to be that much less responsive, and that limits also the amount of weight that you can take on board too.
So all that ties together.
So Brad, we know we start ballooning early in the mornings, right? I was out here at 3:30, but I start getting texts from you at what time? Tell the viewers out here, what time does Brad start ballooning for Balloon Fiesta?
Yeah, so we start very early. Typically we're up by 2:30 looking at stuff and everything like that. I get up about 2. So I'm looking at information, and then we'll all meet in the office by 3, and we're already bouncing ideas off of each other with our fantastic weather team, trying to get a sense of how things are going to play out this morning. And then we have our first briefing with event officials at 4:15 in the morning. Then we go into a safety briefing at 4:45, and then we have the large briefing on the tower that you guys broadcast for us at 6 o'clock. So it's just constant going from one brief to another. And what's so interesting is that the weather's so changeable here when we get the drainage and everything like that up from Santa Fe, that the weather is constantly changing as you're giving those briefings. So you have to stay both abreast of what's going on currently and how that is changing, and hopefully it's matching the forecast, right?
Well, I don't even set my alarm. I have my Brad T. Meyer alarm that comes off to me every morning.
It's just that early morning text. Go
right.
ahead and give us a shout out to the rest of your team.
Yeah, I've got a fantastic team. So Duncan Devenant, who's been here for the last few years, he's done a great job, and he's actually doing the weather radio loop here this morning, giving the pilots all the information out in the field, letting them know what they're going to see when they're getting closer to landing. And then I've got Karen Wells, who's actually out on the field with the Fiesta de Globos this morning. So she's flying the Fiesta, the miniature balloons, the radio remote control.
Balloons, yeah.
And this year's edition was Don Day, who is just a world-renowned meteorologist.
He is.
Yeah, and it's just fantastic. So the 4 of us are holding down the weather fort, and it's really a pleasure to work with them all.
One last thing you explain to the viewers about, because I'm a pilot, you're a pilot, Art's a pilot, the weather loop. How does that work, and how does that affect the people around town?
So what we do is we try to keep the weather is so changeable here. You just got all these what we call microclimates, where just every few miles the weather is changing. So given that that's the case, we're trying to keep the pilots with as much information as possible so that they can, and the winds change with altitude, so they can actually steer the balloon to where they want to go to have a nice soft landing. So we're just kind of keeping them updated with the latest weather information from around the area, and we update that loop every 10 to 15 minutes. So we're just constantly gathering information from around the region and then reporting that wind information to the pilots so that they can make decisions on where they want to go to find a good landing.
And they're hearing that through their aircraft radios, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's all broadcast out through the aircraft radio, and then they can make, they can go change their altitudes to get to where they want to go to find a really good landing spot. Yesterday was great, right? They're flying up towards Rio Rancho Corrales. Those are always really great landing spots. But today, heading towards the city, it's a little bit more difficult. So given that that's the case, giving them those wind information is really helpful, especially when they can make decisions on where to land.
So the Balloon Fiesta Weather Channel on aircraft radio for our pilots.
Yes.
That's great.
Yep. We used to have John Elrick doing it, and he's since retired from the position, and now Karen's taken over the voice of Balloon Fiesta Weather Radio.
Okay, good deal.
The Weather Radio Loop.
Brad T. Meyer, Chief Meteorologist for the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for the great weather today.
Yeah.
We'll hold you to it the rest of the week.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Brad.
Likewise.
Always good to have Brad come up here as well. So we need to do that? You want to do that?
Well, for this evening we could.
Well, we should. Yeah, we should.
So
do it.
So we're going to be giving away some more Balloon Fiesta Live license plates this evening in our evening session. So we really encourage you guys, if you guys could throw that up, that's still up on there. There it is. So you can enter to win the Balloon Fiesta Live license plate, a replica of what the state of New Mexico used to issue, and we've kind of Balloon Fiesta'd it out. Scan that QR code to enter. It goes right to an app that Art has, and we will pick 3 winners for this evening, for our evening session, and you could be one of those winners, and we'll get in contact with you, and we'll send it. And this is open to everybody, right? Yep. Internationally,
anybody,
so
anywhere,
anybody. If it's already Monday over in Australia, it's Monday morning in Australia. You guys want to enter in? Please enter in. So I've been seeing stuff. There's some stuff that just actually came in from China just now. So you guys could even hit that QR code on your screen, And we would be loved to send some of this stuff worldwide.
So somebody was asking a few minutes ago about when they're going to do the drawing. And so obviously I think it was Sean who was asking. Sean was late this morning because he missed that we did do the drawing early this morning for this motion. But just for you, Sean, I'm going to tell you that you didn't win.
Right.
Sorry,
Sean. But, if you enter now, you could win this evening.
You could. And this morning's winners, just to kind of repeat this, Karen Harlow from Thornton, Colorado, Valerie Baker from Tierras, New Mexico, and Andrew Smelter from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Those were our 3. So we've got 9 winners so far with our 3 sessions. 3 license plates every single session. Scan the code, get in the entry. Only 1 entry. Did you say that?
Yes, only 1 entry.
Only 1 entry. So far, everybody's been really good. I have not had to kick out the duplicates, so I'm checking.
There's a great shot of the little globitos.
Oh, yeah.
Fiestas de los globitos.
You mentioned Brad Rice. I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday, the Hearts of Fire. There's the Mini-Me Hearts of Fire, the pink.
I believe his wife and children.
Children are flying that. Yeah. You know that it really is a great way for kids to get involved in ballooning. While you can go ahead and get a student pilot license at the age of 14 and get your actual private license at 16, you can do these without a license, without all that kind of stuff. And it's a great way because you're going to learn about it. And, many times these minis, you have the opportunity to build them yourselves. And so you learn about all of this. It's a great way, a great learning experience. But as you look at that shot, if you could almost say, well, yeah, that just looks like a faraway shot of some balloons.
Right. Well, with giants. Right?
Yeah, because there's a lot of people down there with them. Yeah.
Have you had the opportunity to play with one?
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
It's a little bit different, but it's the same principles.
Yeah. When we first brought RC balloons out here, my friends Barbara Fricke and Peter Cuneo, who make their own big balloons, made a little remote one. And so, I got a chance to fly it. It definitely is a different skill.
I see a buddy of mine from up in Farmington area, Durango, Colorado, Kevin Mousy. He's the one there with the Roadrunner Coyote Globito to the bottom left.
Oh, to the bottom left.
Yes,
yeah. I don't think I've seen that one before.
Yeah, he just had it made, actually.
Well, that's probably why I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Looks like we're getting ready to wrap up all these second waivers coming off the field.
Yeah, now see that shot. Even that shot,
right.
you could. Yeah, the people look a little big, but yeah. But I did get a chance to fly one. It definitely is it's a different flying skill. But
I hear some burning, and I hear Diane. So she's got to either be in a balloon, a globito, or something. So hey, Diane, what are you up to now?
Hi. Well, we're here having a great time, of course, at Fiesta. And I have Diane from Chandler, Texas, and her crew. And what's interesting is I asked, well, how do you find your crew? And Diane, how do you find your crew?
We don't lose them.
Then you don't have to find them. You've been flying here in Fiesta 32 years, 36 years, and your crew's been with you.
Not all 36. Well, one of them has.
I don't think she's 36 years old, but
one of them has been. But I fly at rallies all over the country, and we make friends and find crew, and then we all gather together. It's like a gathering of the clans, and everybody comes to Fiesta.
You're from Colorado?
Colorado Springs.
Tell me about crewing for Diane.
It's fantastic. We've crewed for Diane for the past 7 years. 7 years. Long time. And she flies in Colorado Springs. We love it.
What do you like crewing for Diane?
Well, we're newbies, and we're just over here helping.
We're just helping.
We're just from another crew.
From another crew. All you have to do is what? Put a lot of weight down on this basket?
Put a lot of weight. It wants to fly.
You know how to have fun. You have to know how to have fun.
Thanks, Diane.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. We had a great day here at Balloon Fiesta. Thank you, Ted and Art, and thank you, world. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Diane. And Diane Carlson in the
double Dianes.
Yeah, double Dianes. Diane squared.
Yes.
Yeah, and we saw a shot of Darth Vader and the Bandit the little raccoon balloon down there. Diane Carlson, there they are.
Yep.
So Diane Carlson flies that bandit balloon, obviously doing that special shape for us. So Plano Pins is also who Diane Carlson is. She's the folks that we work with to produce those 200-some pins here at Balloon Fiesta. So joining us here on the rooftop studio, Albuquerque Mayor Tim Keller. Good morning, Mayor.
Great to be back with you. Another awesome year for Balloon Fiesta Live.
Good morning,
So
sir.
appreciate y'all. And goodness, let me just say one thing. First time ever. I know most people may not be able to see it, but the Zozobra balloon, pretty special today.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, it came right over the top. It was great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so tell us more about that. What's the city's involvement with Zozobra?
You know, we had so much fun with this in a sense that I literally was approached by one of the organizers and founders at, a different event, had nothing to do with balloons. And he was like, hey, we're a little short on this idea for a Zozobra balloon. And I was kind of like, no way. You're actually going to make a special shape, not just like put Zozobra on there.
Right.
Showed me the whole vision. And then, he was like, can Albuquerque help out? And I was kind of like, well, we want to be helpful, but it's Santa Fe thing.
Yeah.
And then we both kind of looked at each other and we were like, wait a minute. But Balloon Fiesta is Albuquerque, and why don't we co-brand it? So I talked to our tourism department and actually Visit Santa Fe and Visit Albuquerque loved the idea. And so it now has like Visit Santa Fe on one side, Visit Albuquerque on the back. It's awesome. So I think it's just a win-win and a great example of a fun collaboration.
Yeah, really fun. And obviously it's been inflated a few times. I think this morning might have been its actual first flight.
It's my understanding, and I was out there with them. They have inflated it Zozobra, and I think a couple of different times to sort of show it off. But it was also very intense. I mean, I know you all have been around balloons forever, and I'm part of a chase crew. That was the most stressed I've ever seen a crew. They were trying to have fun, but it was the first time, and the crowd was going nuts. I mean, it was like a rock concert when it went up. And they had a speaker, like the Zozobra sounds. The Zozobra makes like a growl.
The moaning
They
sound.
piped it in all around the
I thought
inflation
I
area.
heard it. I'm not sure that we picked it up, but I thought I was hearing the moans, and I said, that sure sounds like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really special to see it take off, and it also yesterday got a rip in the head, so they had like a Band-Aid on the chase crew bus, like over the head of Zozobra, and got it sewed up. Great. So obviously, made it fine, and the credit to the repair crews from Cameron or whoever else, whatever balloon maker, they fixed it up last night. So it was a great day.
Well, speaking about today is a Chamber of Commerce Day for the city of Albuquerque, correct? I mean, you can't ask for anything better.
The irony, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's just phenomenal out here. And, I lived here, I've moved away, but I come back every year because this is my home. This is where I grew up. And this is exactly, as a pilot, as a balloon fan, tell us about, when did you start getting involved in ballooning?
So for me, born and raised here, and so I grew up chasing balloons on my bicycle.
Like Ted.
Like me. Same thing.
The best. It was so much fun.
Go through the mesa on your bike and you find the balloon.
Yeah. Or you're like trying to cross busy streets. I mean, it's like dangerous in a fun kid way. And then sometimes you'd get like a pin, or a card. And I just remember I started collecting balloon pins back then. It was just so special. And now, of course, there's so many fun aspects, right? But one of the amazing things is I finally got to do the American flag, like in the morning, the national anthem sort of
balloon of the
launch.
day.
And of course, had never done that before. I mean, I'd seen it on TV and things. That was really special too. I mean, as always, you feel that like American pride, but then you're like, wow, we're in a balloon and everyone around you is singing the national anthem. That was really cool. That was last year. So many great memories, but just giving you the first and the last.
Nice. That's great. So talk just a little bit about from the city's side, from the mayor's office side of Albuquerque. What is Balloon Fiesta? How does that all tie together? What does it mean to the city to have Balloon Fiesta here?
A couple of things in general, right? There's some basics, like it's $200 million in economic impact. Right. So, and most of our sort of touristish stores, like around Old Town, they say anywhere between a quarter and a half of their sales are during Balloon Fiesta. So it's a huge deal, especially for folks who work in retail, local retail, and of course the restaurants too. So that's kind of one piece of it. The other one is there's about 800,000 people who come every year. And of course it's roughly half local, half from out of town. So that brings in just hotels and the whole bit. So it's a big deal there. But for us too, it's part of our identity now. And I think we see that, we have like our Native American heritage and our Spanish heritage. In a funny way, balloons are kind of the Anglo piece of that Albuquerque crossroads story. It's sort of what the Anglos have added to, this place. And so it's actually a very cool reflection of, it was started by folks from the labs and things like that. So it is very much tied into the 1950s, 60s Albuquerque transition into a modern city. And so it's just a wonderful piece of the city at the crossroads.
Well, we definitely know, as Ted and I both travel around the country and things like that. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Albuquerque. Oh, that's where the balloons are.
That's the very first thing they ever mention,
Yeah,
and then when they find out that we're pilots, then it's a long drawn out conversation.
And then when they find out we're the announcers, it's over.
Oh, yeah, it's over.
Yeah, at least that's good. They're still going with that, not Breaking Bad. Although we love the film industry.
Yeah.
But the second, it's usually balloons or Breaking Bad.
Well, actually, I just had some people in from Toronto, Canada, and they came for the balloons specifically, and then they said, hey, do you know anything about Breaking Bad? And I took them on the tour because living here, I know where all the spots are. So they got the free Breaking Bad
Doghouse, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Albuquerque Mayor Tim Keller, thanks for joining us here on the Rooftop Studio.
Thank you all. Appreciate you. Great job announcing as always.
Thanks. We'll have a great week. Appreciate you coming by.
Thanks, Mayor.
So we got a couple of balloons that are going to continue to do a static display here on the field. I don't expect any of them to take off at this point. It's starting to get just a little bit late in the morning to be starting a flight. So we continue to take a look at, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 regular shaped balloons up and a number of our globitos up there as well.
Globitos out there.
Yeah. So we'll continue to let folks wander among those balloons, and we'll continue to take a look here. We're going to kind of wrap things up here in just a few minutes. We did talk about our license plate giveaway a few minutes ago, but we should also tell folks the special deal we have for how you can get merchandise without having to come to the field.
Absolutely. So you can go to balloonfiestastuff.com and you scan that QR code and you're going to get 10% off all sportswear. So hats, T-shirts, jackets, sweatshirts. You can throw other stuff inside that cart, but that's what you're going to receive the 10% off on. And remember, once you dump all that in the cart, you're going to use, and you have to enter in the coupon code Fiesta24. So let's make sure that you guys get what you get before it's out. This has been the first weekend, and I guarantee you, I walk over there's going to be things that are missing. They're already throwing sold-out tags on the pins anyway for some of them. So let's get out there and go to balloonfiestastuff.com.
The QR code will take you there.
Yeah, and get your merchandise.
And use that code. One time only, but make it all happen. That's the way for you to be able to pick up your official Balloon Fiesta merchandise. If you're in the Albuquerque area or you're coming this way, you can do free pickup, or we have some nominal shipping charges if we need to ship it to you somewhere else in the country. But it's a great place to do. And when you are there, by the way, be sure and sign up for What's Up Wednesday to keep informed on what all is happening. So here's the schedule from this morning. You can see we're basically through this part. This afternoon, or starting later this morning, we're going to have the Fiesta of Wheels car show here on the field.
That's always fun.
That's always great fun. Some really fabulous-looking cars show up there. The Air Force Academy Band is going to be on the Main Street stage. Our chainsaw carving folks have been carving all morning, and they're going to auction that stuff off.
You know, when you drive by there, they've been carving actually probably since I think Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, they started,
And it is just the most unbelievable, pleasant, that burnt wood smell. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and their auction is off. And then
my favorite time, coming up at 11.
Pin trading time.
Yes,
pin trading day. Yep, it's exactly what it is out there in the group tours tent. We do that again next Sunday. So if you're not here today, plan to be here next Saturday. Sunday, next Saturday. We'll do it again.
You may be sitting there all alone on Sunday.
Yeah, you might, because we'll be cleaning stuff up here on that as well. We've got another fabulous night on tap for tonight. Again, the chainsaw carvers, they're carving all the time. So they kind of plan these times to show you their cuts, and then we have the opportunity for those auctions. 5 o'clock, Team Fast Track Skydiving, sponsored by the Accident Insurance Company. They'll bring that 5,000 square foot of American freedom into the field, as well as the Fiesta flag.
On the main stage at 5:15, the Noms. That will be a fun little show. And then at 6 o'clock, our
That should actually say 6:30, but yes.
Okay, 6:30, I'm sorry.
No, the screen is wrong.
Oh, okay.
That's my fault because I built that screen.
All right, well, at 6:30, we're going to do the original balloon glow, which is powered by ExxonMobil, followed by another jump by Team Fast Track Skydiving, sponsored by Accident Insurance Company at 7:30. at 7:45. The drone light show sponsored by Sandia Resort and Casino. And then at 8 o'clock on the main stage, back there, right on the main street, you're going to have Black Pearl Band. And then at 8 o'clock, it's the same time, you're going to have the Afterglow fireworks.
And actually, now that we've seen the drone show and the fireworks, they're kind of integrated now.
Yes, they've put
so
some
it kind of just moves right through it. And you'll be able to see all of that. Other than the bands, you'll be able to see all of that live here on Balloon Fiesta Live tonight. We'll call the glow as well. So it's going to be well, we're wrapping up this morning. What a fabulous morning it was. We've got a great evening lined up. Tomorrow starts competition. So tomorrow morning, we'll still have a little dawn patrol thing. At least it's on the schedule. And then we'll, at 7 o'clock, we don't call it a mass ascension, but it might as well be.
The non-competitors will fly off, and it will be a mini mass ascension.
Yeah,
right?
200 to 300 or so of those balloons will fly off. The other half, and this always panics people. They see all the balloon trucks leaving the field, and they say, "What's going on? Where are the balloons going?" Well, that half is going at least a mile away to find a launch site to fly into the field. And typically on Monday, but we don't decide this until that morning, but typically on the first Monday we do the Sid Cutter Memorial, which means we put a little boat out there in the middle of the field, and that is the target. So these 300 balloons or so that are going to fly in are going to attempt to fly over that boat and drop a marker right on the bow of the boat. If it falls off the boat, it's like falling into the water, and you get a penalty on your score. It's really, really fun competition.
It is fun. And in 1 year I flew over, and guess what I forgot in the truck?
The marker.
Yep.
Man.
The passengers that were with me, they heard a lot of awful stuff all the way to the RV park.
Oh, jeez. You know, last year we had an incredible Sid Memorial Task Day. We had something like 20 markers actually on or in the boat. That doesn't count all the ones that fell off into the water, or all the ones, because we also lay out what we call land masses. They're islands and a land mass, and you could take the safe throw and drop into there. It's kind of like hitting the big target. You don't get as many points as hitting that little tiny one. But the idea there is, man, it was just incredible last year. I'll be down in the middle of all that with our remote camera tomorrow, so we'll be able to bring you up close and personal competition, photos, video, and what we actually see from inside the competition area. Ted will be calling it from up here on the field as well. So we've got it all covered. Kind of a mass ascension in the morning with half our balloons in competition the rest of the morning.
Yeah, and we'll get a backstory of why the Sid Cutter is built that way.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yep, we'll talk about that as well. Competition continues on Tuesday. Mass Ascension, Flight of the Nations on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday are special shapes days. We'll feature those 126 special shapes. And in the evening, we'll do them as well with a glow.
Glodios.
Glodios, we call them. That's a kind of a combination of when we used to fly them in the afternoon when it was a rodeo. Then we turned it into a glow, so it became a glodio.
And then Saturday, we'll do another mass ascension.
Right.
And then we'll do our night magic kind of farewell glow for the fiesta.
And in the middle of that, pin trading day and the awards brunch for all of our pilots. And because there's some pretty good money going to be awarded.
There is.
During competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Sunday?
Sunday
is the final mass ascension.
Well, yeah, the final.
The final one.
But hey, we're not even past this Sunday.
We're not even past this Sunday yet. So mark your calendars for the rest of the week. And, of course, if you're always looking for Balloon Fiesta, we always start the very first Saturday in October every single year, so you can go ahead and mark your calendars at this point. Well, now you've been through 2 mornings. What do you think?
Hey, let's do another evening. Let's do a full glow this evening.
A full glow tonight as opposed to a half and half.
So once again, the saying I came to you with, morning flights delivered again, and we're going to do glowing nights.
And glowing nights. Thanks for all of you for tuning in, for chatting away with us on Facebook and on YouTube. Remember that all of our shows end up archived on balloonfiesta.com/live-stream. And if you come on out to the field, be sure and bring your earbuds with you so that you can stream our show here on the field. We have an actual audio-only stream available for you as well. Our voice is not on the PA throughout the mornings, so you'll want to bring your phones with you so that you can keep in touch with us while you're here on the field visiting this week. So with that, for Diane Kinderwater on the field and all of the great interviews and people that she brought us this morning, for Ted Maes, I'm Art Lloyd Jr. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you tonight on Balloon Fiesta Live.
So long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
You've been watching Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. Always in October and always in Albuquerque. This is the 52nd edition of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, the world's premier ballooning event. Want more balloon action? Visit the archive of Balloon Fiesta Live broadcasts at balloonfiesta.com. Thanks for watching Balloon Fiesta Live. This program is a production of AIBF Inc.